Good evening, Nigeria. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to Updated Precious. As usual, I don't land another month again to bring on an update of matter them with the hots for inside the country. Sincere apologies for starting a bit late. That's because I get issue with my guest joining the studio, and I still they try to see whether Ingo fit join the studio because they get difficult joining our studio. So make we hope say our guest will be joining very quickly so that we go begin the conversation. But as I make I start, instead of keeping you guys waiting, let me just start as fast as possible while we wait for our guest to join the studio and then we'll begin the conversation intense. Welcome to the show. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys to bring on a matter the way they hot for inside Nigeria. My name is Precious Enyi, and it always suits my belly to bring on a matter the way they shell for inside the country. All right, plenty matter they hot today. As I make a begin bring on a one by follow all the matter the way they hot for inside the country. First up, ADC, Atiku Obi, Amaechi's presidential ambitions divide supporters, perhaps derails ADC's success. That's what some would say. But we'll get to that. That's why we'll have our guest because now exclusive expose you're going to give us today. 2027, coalition of political villains. APC slams ADC leaders. Say, oh, now be political villains. Yeah. All right, so let's move on. Over 1 million Nigerians benefiting from business student loan. 1 million. That's who they talk. Minister for Information say, hey, I don't benefit too much inside this administration. You want to know what Tinubu has done for you? Well, over more than 1 million Nigerians don't right now. They benefit from student loan and then marketers loan, be business loan. So is that not enough? The government is giving back and doing for you. Why are you insulting the government that is doing for you? We'll get back to that conversation. And then Tinubu never stopped 5-year non-immigrant visa for US citizens. This according to presidency. As US they give us passports right now as a consign visa for inside our citizens. But let's go further to other issues. Tinubu never stopped 5-year loan. I told you that. And then Supreme Court verdict threatens democracy. Obaseki don't react. Say this judgment by Supreme Court. Say it threatened democracy. That's how they react. Meanwhile, Edo Guba Tussle, Supreme Court betrayed me. PDP's Igor Dalo reacts to judgment. He said, Kai, Supreme Court betray me. Oh, then do me. Oh, then do me. Oh, this one a pure betrayer, then betray me. Then we'll move to National Assembly where Akpabio has removed Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's name as Senate Committee Chair. So Akpabio removes Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan as Senate Committee Chair. She need to chair any committee again. Oh, wow. All right. How Jonathan tried to remove me as Borno governor. Vice President Shetima. Now they talk this one. And then Northerners want Nnamdi Kanu freed. Abia Rep Ikweche. Now they talk this one. Ikweche, he say Northerners want Nnamdi Kanu free. Say if they free him, say he go calm down the tension for inside the southeast a lot. For faulty meters, billing errors drive electricity complaints to 2,504. 254, 2,504 so far. Faulty meters, all of those say on a complaint, then don't too much as you get to do with electricity meter. I have cleaned all. Oh, yeah, my guest is still finding it very difficult to join the studio. I don't know what to do now. I don't know if we should just make it a telephone conversation, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. And then moving on to other issues very quickly. Nigeria always issues 5-year visa to US citizens. That's not waiting federal government they talk to say, but why it be say US can't they do us like this? Meanwhile, netizens blast Trump for asking Liberian president where he learned to speak English. Now the kind things Africans they see for on a hand, Abi. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's always a pleasure to bring on a matter them where they hot for inside Nigeria. My name is Precious Enyi. Welcome to Updated Precious once more. Other matters the day. Remember the missing 21 points why 210 trillion missing money for NNPC. Well, again, the NNPCL GMD Ojulari don't snub Nigerian Senate. It still not appear for Nigerian Senate. As I speak to you, bandits now abduct palace officials for inside plateau, burn houses. That one said day. And then plus including other matter the way hot where we go bring for on at the month. But make we find we just take small chicken break with this Trump video. We they come back to bring on at the matter then while I try to get through to my guest to see if my guest can join us in the studio so that we can start the conversation earnestly. Unfortunately, I don't know why he's having this issue joining the studio. It's really very unfortunate. But please bear with us. Take a listen to
We want
that
to work with the
video.
United States in peace and security within the region, because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you in such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes,
In Liberia.
yes, sir.
Oh, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well, and they come from.
We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region, because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you in such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well, and they come from.
We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region, because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you in such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well, and they come from.
We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region, because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you in such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well, and they come from.
We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region, because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you in such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well, and they come from.
We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region, because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you in such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well, and they come from.
We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region, because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you in such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well, and they come from.
We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region, because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you in such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well, and they come from.
We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region, because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you in such
All
good
right, I'd like to
English,
see
such
you
beautiful.
guys.
Where did you
sincere apologies. I they tried to look whether my guest will fit join inside the studio. It is unfortunate say the guest they get issues to join, but if he's unable to join, we'll make a telephone conversation and so that we can get started as fast as possible. It's really very unfortunate that the backstage is working very well. The link is working. There are people behind. I don't know why our guest is unable to join. It'd be like say our village people don't make sure say if you join us. But then again, what do we do? Let's just get started and then forget about this. So beginning the conversation, let's see. Yes. So let's see. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has announced the replacement of suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan as chairman of the Senate Committee on Diaspora and Non-Governance Organizations. Now, Akpabio during plenary on Thursday announced Senator Anye Kanbase as the new chairman of the committee. As a result, Bassey replaces Natasha Uduaghan, whose leadership of the committee has been uncertain due to her suspension. Now, you'll recall that in a minor reshuffle earlier in February, Natasha Uduaghan was removed as chairperson of the Senate Committee on Local Content, where it caused a lot of trouble, and reassigned to the Diaspora and NGOs Committee. And although no formal explanation was provided for her replacement, it is it is a thought that the move may be or may not be unconnected to her suspension. Now, Justice Bitanyako already had advised the Senate that her prolonged suspension was really very bad. But yet, as it day like this now, be like say this nice step where they say the Senate led by Godswill Akpabio, they take that step to perhaps maybe bring her back or maybe suspend her indefinitely. And we actually do not know what their next line of action would be because Justice Mate and Yanko don't talk to me, then reinstate her, mandating them to do that, mandating her to tender an apology for contempt of court because she go, make that satiric apology. But then, unfortunately, she's unable. Yeah, I'm not sure if she's done that apology. I would have to check if she because she's supposed to apologize on her social media platform and also across major newspapers and all that. We've not seen that. The last time she spoke, she says she's yet to see the certified true copy of the judgment. So now saying when she see the certified true copy of the judgment, now that time she will fit know what to do. But so far, we're unsure of what's the judgments be so far and waiting the reaction of the Senate could be about the judgment. Forgive me, I'm still trying to keep a tab on my guest while I move on to the matter. So let's get straight to what this government said they've done to people, they've done for you Nigerians so far, before we get to the coalition issue, because that's a big story. And our guest is an insider who, jumping on the conversation. The federal government says over 1 million Nigerians have so far benefited from various loan and grant schemes under the administration's renewed hope agenda. Now, even as proceeds from the removal of fuel subsidy are being reinvested into major infrastructure projects nationwide. Now, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, disclosed this on Thursday, today, while addressing state commissioners of information and uh, you know, state commissioners of information and others on what the government has done so far. Now, I think this is my guest. Let me quickly check if I can pick his call. Kindly give me a second. Hello, sir. Are you able to join us yet, sir? Okay, so let me call you on WhatsApp. I will have to call you on WhatsApp to join us, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, sir. Unfortunately, we can't do video on WhatsApp to go directly. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. You guys bear with me. One of the things that we have to experience in this job, because today, be like say, a village people tie wrapper come for this, please. They no one make we be successful, but we have coconuted. We don't used to hear word. All right. So joining me in the studio is Dr. Catch and Dr. Catch. Good evening. Thank you so much for eventually making it. Our village people no agreement you make them today, sir.
Sorry. I think this is the problem with technology. Sometimes it just gets, I don't know. It has never happened before. My phone suddenly it's not going.
It's unfortunate.
No better. I'm fine to be speaking to you now.
It's
Via
very it's
voice.
very unfortunate. All right, so let's get straight to the conversation. I mean, the biggest story that we have today is about the coalition, and we'll do ourselves a lot of disservice if we don't talk about the coalition because that's what most Nigerians are talking about. Even though some think that beyond the coalition, Nigerians should learn to take the bull by the horn and perhaps agitate for indeed a true country, perhaps via revolution. The coalition was inaugurated or adopted ADC about a week ago, and then inaugurated or flagged off the ADC as the new platform for the coalition. So far, how far?
Well, so far, as a brand new thing, when it is inaugurated, people will start learning, people will start watching. What I see in it so far, principally, it's a consequence of the anger in the APC. The bulk of those who have now joined, it's one, the CPC faction. They actually, most of them have left the APC government, and that's why you've seen people like that. And then the others are the NPDP, and then you now have Peter Obi, and that's probably the big gorilla in the room. Yes, that has happened, but then nothing has vitiated our fundamental problem for the collapse of the PDP, which is when we reached after 8 years of Buhari's presidency, people like Atiku refused to allow zoning to the south. And you see, that's the same thing. And that's why I'm asking people, I said, why wouldn't he just understand? Do polling and understand who is popular. I think he wants to ride Peter be popularity, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, so you
I
think
can
that
tell
there's
you
already
straight up.
so that means the rumor that there is an internal rift in the ADC amongst the star boys in the ADC is actually correct?
Well, you call it a rumor, but then this is just the truth. One, it was Atiku's refusal to allow zoning to the south that actually imploded the PDP, forced me and Doido Kokwe to start our campaign, and then got later on P2B to, after several no, agreed to now join, and that was how the obedient movement was born. So if we needed to make up and then come back together again, they needed to understand what is the fundamental reasons for the implosion of the opposition PDP. Very basic. At the end of the 8 years of Buhari's administration, we thought that the North have had their 8 years. Allow the zoning to occur. Atiku refused. And then we just left, and that's all. So we're saying again, yes, the coalition is good. Do the coalition, but if at the end of the day they refuse to zone to the south and allow P2B to run, of course, we'll move away and go elsewhere. That's what it is. And I believe the
Okay.
Northerners who seek, those who want the coalition to work, should understand that if P2B is not allowed to run, or rather, if it is not zoned to the south, kiss it goodbye. Now you now have to look at the problem. That's why I told you that Atiku had been the single most negative influence on our democracy.
So we'll get back to Atiku Abubakar and the real internal wrangling, as it were, on within the coalition. But let's speak about the coalition itself. Do you think that perhaps it kind of rattles the present administration? The fact that
Of
they see
course,
all of these people come together and you feel say they're threatened by the coalition, but they say they know they're threatened.
of course,
Why do you
of
think they're
course, those
threatened,
are
even though they say they are
rhetorics.
not?
Those are rhetorics. You know they will be threatened because one, the main bulk of the coalition itself is the CPC faction. Don't forget that when the APC coalition was put together, it was the CPC and the ACN, then Atiku with his NPDP, and of course, Rochas then brought their own part of what you call it, is it and then Union, which is AMPP, and then that's how that coalition is. So if now the CPC has pulled out, and then they are now to be blessed by the obedient movement, of course, that any day should give a cause of concern to the ruling party. Don't forget, you will see Rino Mokori, Peter Obi. You will see Daniel Buala, Peter Obi. You will see the presidency, Peter Obi, Ononoga, Peter Obi. That means there's something about Peter Obi that frightens all of them. So if Peter Obi is to now become the face of the coalition, yes, the very reason for which everybody is afraid in the ruling party will become very evident, and it will actually become their ammo. Now, do I say this? The only thing the coalition needs to understand is it should understand what is it that imploded the PDP. The PDP led by Atiku and the caucus he led refused to zone. That's why he died. So if you want this coalition to work, and for me, I like coalition because coalitions are good in a democracy. Coalition strengthens the democracy. Since the coalition, you've seen that the presidency and the ruling party have now sat. Oh, they know there's a problem. For me, Tinubu's embrace of nepotism, of course, is totally abhorrible, and I think it's wrong. And you will see in the days going forward, the fear of the coalition will now force the Tinubu administration to do a lot of things differently.
All
For
right.
me, that is one good thing about the coalition that has been forced upon the democracy.
All right, so we will still get back to the coalition, as I said earlier. But now let's speak on the core of the matter, which is what this why the purpose for the coalition in the first place. Why the coalition? That's what many would say. Now, this administration claims that they claim say on a be coalition of, in fact, waiting Boala call on say on a be coalition of internally displaced politicians. And then another person don't call on and say on a be villain today, say because on a just won't take power, say no be because of say the administration they do badly. How would you access President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration? I mean, today, the Minister for Information just said that over 1 million Nigerians have benefited from the student loan and business loan under the Renewed Hope, scheme that they're doing. So that means they're working and they're giving light, they're doing everything. So why the need for the coalition in the first place? Because Nigerians go on understand waiting on a the drag, whether on a the drag for their good or be on a the argue for our own pocket. Because a lot of people are looking at it that is because most of the people in the coalition have left power for long and they want to come back to power. That's why. So I'd like you to speak to that first, sir.
I wouldn't say so. I think one, the Tinubu administration has followed in the footsteps of the Buhari administration and have alienated a lot of the country because of its employment of nepotism. How can you have 4 ministers from Ogun State and then the whole of the Southeast only 5 ministers? Which one single state, 4 ministers, and the whole of the Southeast 5 ministers? That just gives you an inkling. Tinubu has not been accommodating of other people. The truth is, what works for Buhari may not just work for Tinubu.
Why?
Yes, well, Buhari some way got away with nepotism. And then Buhari also looked the other way while the industrial scale and genocide were happening. with the people. Why didn't he do it since 2 years? That tells you he failed to actually embrace insecurity and deal with it decisively. So that's just one thing I'll tell you. And for that, I have no go come about it. Look at the economy. Yes, I agree on the economy. He has taken some very painful decisions like removing the subsidy, like allowing the naira to float. But what about implementations of removal of subsidy? It is because the implementation was not well done. Plus, where are the savings? Look at even the way he awarded the Calabar Lagos superhighway without bidding. You give that kind of trillion naira contract without doing environmental impact assessment, nothing like bill of quantities. We just put money there and then that is not proper. What about being inclusive? Nigeria is a diverse society. You can't run it with just from Lagos. No. You must include the aspirations of our heterogeneously diverse populations in governance. Don't make the mistake that Buhari made and think it will work for you. That's Buhari's Tinubu's thing. Because you have seen the bulk of the CPC faction who backed Buhari, they accepted, the Buhari's game of embracing and employing nepotism as policy. Fine. Tinubu now came to employ the same nepotism as policy. Buhari may not work for Tinubu, and that's the reason it is. So, for me, the coalition is good, but the coalition need to get it well. If the coalition make the mistake of allowing Atiku, who has now gotten a lot of money from Qatar, I have this on good intelligence, and now thinking he will now just dollarize the primary and purchase it, take it from me, Peter Obi will move, and wherever he moves, the crowd will move with him. Take that. If the coalition don't want their plan to work, and that's why Peter Obi said on television the other day that the coalition is a prospective strategy for 2027. But he remains a presidential candidate, prospective presidential candidate for the Labour Party. If you do not agree to zone, refusing to zone by those led by Atiku was the reason why we left the PDP and started the youth movement. Now, let me tell you how badly refusing to zone is. If Tinubu did 2 terms, do you think that people like Atiku and those in the north on the CPC would to support Tinubu? No. This is the problem. So why would you? There is no inclusion of others. If the Southerners bent over backward to accept quota system to be able to accommodate the North, why wouldn't the North agree that power should be rotated between North and South? It doesn't matter the party you use there. It doesn't matter the vehicle you use in going to Maiduguri. Once you've been to Maiduguri, you've been to Maiduguri. The next turn is to return back to the South. Whether you come to the South and you go to Lagos, you come to the South and you go to Port Harcourt, you come to the South, you go to Calabar, you have come to the South. So the power has gone to the North. The next thing, it should now shift to the South. But because Atiku, his inordinate ambition didn't allow him to see that, what happened? Atiku destroyed the PDP. We left the PDP. We started the movement. We got Peter to run. Purpose left. And before you knew it, the PDP was just messed up. So for me, if the coalition are to learn anything from the implosion of the PDP, it is to advise Atiku that he must allow nation building. Atiku became a Nigerian in 1961 after the plebiscite that brought in Northern Cameroon into Northern Nigeria. And he should understand this. Nigeria is a diverse society. It has several ethnicities. So if you come to this kind of pluralistic society and you don't consider the inclusion of other people in nation building, you will never achieve anything. All Atiku believes in is to use money and purchase. Peter Obi is not going to use money to match him. So you can understand that if they don't zone, Peter Obi will not participate in a dollarized primary, which Atiku is likely to participate in, and that will force Peter Obi to walk away, and the coalition will crumble. Take that to the bank. I'm telling you this for sure. Peter will not participate in a dollarized primary that will undermine everything he's been preaching to. And those who are with Peter Obi are the young generation between the ages of 19 and 36. These people are with Peter Obi currently all over the country. So how can you now want to ride on such a man's popularity? You want to be president? Go build your own movement. Why do you want his own movement? Since the most popular politician right now in Africa, let us use him to fix the country. He has said it.
Okay. But Dr. Kaj,
Yes.
Dr. Kaj, the problem here is that many would want to know why you, the group or the coalition generally did not do their due diligence before forming the coalition. Because somebody like Ireti Kingibe came out, he said yesterday in an interview with channels, I guess, that she promises there won't be any internal wrangling at all. There won't be internal issues because that you guys did your due diligence before joining the party. I'm sure you know that there is a litigation, there's a court case against instituted against the coalition leadership. So she said that Ona do Ona due diligence before Ona join. How come Ona not also do the due diligence in terms of agreeing? Say, okay, this thing what would they do now? Power must make sure say it retain for South, or make we use northern candidate to commot these people for this coalition. How is it possible that those agreements were not reached before the coalition even started in the first place?
Well, from the thing I know, the fact is, when you start, don't forget that ideas don't come out fully formed. They take shape as you work on them. And in this case of the coalition, the idea is come together. Of course, everybody will have their own ambitions, but I now start to work, you start to talk to each other, you now start to ask yourself, how do we win? How do we win? Good. The presidency has now been in the South for 2 years. The North has done this. Peter Obi wouldn't want to be used to suddenly take it back to the North. That's why he said he is willing to do 4 years. So if you are willing to do that 4 years, it means that the 8 years that's supposed to be for the South, he has pledged he will do 4 years. He's a man of his words. Allow him to do those.
But Atiku is about 80 years old. He's going to be too old after the 2031. So if now you then issues, you go agree?
Atiku's problem is an emotional problem. Atiku has an emotionally driven, inordinate ambition to be president. You will also ask yourself, why has Atiku not actually been president? It is the way Nigerians are. Atiku is Chamba. He is under the Lamido's council. Now you've seen that the Fulani Emirate of the Adamawa Emirate has now been, kind of unbundled by Governor Fintiri in a way that he has now brought both the Chamba out. Both the Chamba, both the Lunga, both the Vere, even the Marigi, out of the control of Adamawa. These things are small indigenous tribes. They were just locked in. And this has been for over 120 years. They have been asking to be allowed the autonomy. Just the same autonomy that allowed and situated the Hama Bajama in Newman. So that is what Governor Fintiri has done. And that's the reasons why every time Atiku has run, the core Fulani will know. They won't want to back him. But of course, he's a man with cash and he knows how to use money to buy candidates and delegates at primaries, but then he doesn't win.
Okay, again, as I said, so is it that in the entire conversation before the coalition, Ona no ever bring to the table whether or not one of the strategies to take over power or to wrestle power from Tinubu will be to retain for the South to retain presidency or the presidency to go to North. That conversation was never there at all. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the conversation, if you allow that conversation to take precedence, I will tell you that it will scatter the coalition. I'm aware that those who spent a lot of money to be able to buy the party's echelon of Mr. Raf Musu, who was the head of ADT, the man who borrowed the party for a presidential season, and then when he didn't win, of course he should walk away, not now to think because he rented the party. We also rented Labour Party, and then Peter rented it, and they gave us a platform to market Peter Obi. It doesn't mean that the party is our own. That's why we who started the movement, where I feel today grateful to the Labour Party for giving us a platform to market Peter Obi. I'm also grateful to Peter Obi for even agreeing to run. I knew what it took us to get Peter Obi to run. We had to do all sorts of meetings. I was going to the home of someone like Panasonic, Chief Chidelue, with Godson and other people organizing, going to SNOK, going to Okwalike, begging to. The first time I went to Chidelue, he said, no, Kachi, Peter will not run. And it's true. He said, Peter said he cannot challenge Atiku. So we took a lot of work to force Peter to losing his mind. Please, let's have somebody on the ballot. And that's what it is. So these things don't come out easily at the beginning. It takes time. Now they have all come together. It will now take time to start talking to each other. When you start talking to them, and that's the strategy I like that Peter is taking, get in there and start talking to people. I can see him visiting everywhere. He's going to the Tantata's place, going everywhere. Other people may not want to do the campaign and the visits that Peter do. They will just think they will keep money. No, these are all strategies, and because this is a very, very hungry society. Like Atiku, he will keep dollars, and when the time comes, he will now use dollars to buy. You heard what people were complaining. And this is what we did. So we have built this thing, built this particular movement. Some people came and joined us. People like Kenneth Okonkwo, he came there from the movie industry looking for a role. Fine, he became one of our speakers and he was there. Look at him now. He is now still looking for position in the Labour Party. When they didn't give him, he started insulting Peter. That Peter didn't. Peter don't owe Kenneth Okonkwo nothing. Kenneth is not part of us. We started the movement from inside the PDP. When we now got out and convinced Peter to run, that was when people like Kenneth came to join us. So people don't owe him nothing. Him now talking Peter owe him. Now he's gone. Atiku has given him dollars. Suddenly he's now preaching that he will only vote for a Northerner. He will only work for Atiku. He will only do for Northern candidate. What kind of nonsense is that in a representative democracy where you're supposed to represent the interests and the objectives that are being pursued by your primary constituents? You are now talking like this. That means you are valuable to be bought. You're not a politician. You're just a merchandising a product, and in this case, a product to go talk for you. And that's all. He doesn't insist. So for me, such persons without character, without qualm, that's why I was happy the other way Tim Amanda told him who he is. These are the mercantile Igbos who go about looking for who will give them money in Nigeria for them to now look after their stomach. I'm not like that. I will not allow Peter to be destroyed. And that's why I insist Peter will never run as a vice president to anybody. If Peter runs as a VP, he will be destroyed. Nobody had ever run as a VP in Nigeria and has come out unscathed. Look at Chetima's role. You see what Osibanjo is. Once you are a VP, you become degraded. Nobody has become a VP and survived it. The VPs get degraded. That's what it is. Peter is not willing to be like Atiku, to use money to be buying delegates. He won't do that. That's why we're saying we have prepared Peter as something that we can use to serve Nigeria.
Okay.
If you want to find that we have built this strong followership, you want it, come and experience the magic. Not to how the magic work for you. What do you want to do at 80 years old? But how can me be able to preach to Nigerians that I want to sell to them an 80-year-old man who will now go and sleep, and then rascals will take over the government the same way they took over Buhari's government? I will not make that mistake. It's Peter Obi or nothing.
Okay, so now that they have said this, a lot of people want to ask them plenty questions, especially make we look at, some people talk, say, it go good, make we look at waiting Kenneth Okonkwo talk without being emotional. Because in say, if we come more sentiment and emotion, we go realize, say, waiting Tinubu do for 2015, now say, he use a northerner to defeat a southerner who was Jonathan. So he used Buhari, who was a northerner, to defeat Jonathan, who was a southerner, and that the best way to win Tinubu is to give him his own medicine, a dose of his own medicine. So he said, he also did mention, or people are also asserting, that if you look at the voting blocks so far, there is no way Peter Obi can get more northern votes than Atiku, who is a northerner. So
that is not true.
Understanding that Tinubu has already divided the southern votes, the best thing to do right now is to make sure, say, Tinubu don't divide southwest, south now, and some part of southeast already did Tinubu hand now, because all the governors then don't decamp. And you know, say southwest, like it's election first result, first come out, and the whole of Ekiti, in fact, they give them almost 99% of votes. And more southwesterners right now will vote Tinubu more. So what's be the possibility, say, Peter Obi go even get any small results for the 2027 if in go solo? And then what is the idea of joining the coalition if he will eventually go solo at the end of the day? Because of ambition. These are the questions that people want to ask. Because you can't like say, he no take a decisive decision, or he no think and wait before he make that move to join the coalition.
Ask yourself, why is country discussing Peter Obi, Peter Obi, Peter Obi? There is something the leaders know. Peter won the election. Never mind the story about the glitch. He won it, and we know that very well. So nobody is going to tell the story. Peter had no party, and he got 6 million votes plus. Atiku had all the paraphernalia and instruments of the PDP. He still got 6 million votes plus. These are allocated votes. So Peter was the only human being that defeated them all hands-on in Lagos and Abuja. No other candidate got up to 25% in Lagos and Abuja.
So you think the sentiment will remain the same now? Do you think the sentiment will remain the same in 2027?
The sentiment will be more, because the hungry is now. We thought, for me, I am personally disappointed in Tinubu. I actually thought he'd be better. I thought Tinubu would be inclusive. I thought Tinubu would actually spread his hands and try to build an alliance of at least the South, bring in people, and then bring in the Middle Belt, and then face superiorly the genocide ongoing by the Fulani militias. No, Tinubu was busy. Look at him. He put 4 ministers from Ogun and only 4 people. Let me tell you now another thing. Tinubu has effectively ordered the stoppage of drilling of the Uguta distilled lakes, because the government before he came in during the Buhari era actually arranged for dredging of the
Uguta Lake
sea areas. Yes. Do you know the man has stopped it? Why? Why do you want to kill all maritime capabilities in all parts of the South only for the sake of Lagos? Nobody will be happy for that now. And for what you're saying, you're just thinking about, it's not all Yorubas that are actually that blind to play the dirty politics. Yorubas know that Tinubu has failed. That's what I'm telling you. So getting governors on your side is just for you to be able to have people who follow you to right result. I am talking about voting. I am talking about actions by the people who are suffering. I am suffering about what will happen by the common man who seeks advantage for his children who have left school, who now seek job. I am talking about our workers who are today not employed because Tinubu doesn't ride a made in Nigerian car. The rhetorics are okay, but where are the made in Nigerian car? You give instructions about buy Nigeria. How many of them in Tinubu's government are using made in Nigerian vehicle? Ask yourself. The Americans will buy Suburban because Suburban is made in America. The Americans will buy all sorts of cars that you see that are made in America. You will see an American politician paid with American government money that is actually carrying vehicles or appreciating and patronizing industry from outside United States. You saw what Mr. Trump is doing. He's actually trying to bend the hands of Apple for Apple to cite local manufacturing of its gadgets in the United States. This is what governments do. Not you are spending time elsewhere. Tinubu has been outside in the country since he took over than being inside. Is that how to govern a country? That's not proper. We have to look beyond all those machinations that people do. Despite what he has done in Bayelsa, in the River State, let the people go and vote. Peter will still defeat him. So if these people are orchestrating all these protocols simply because they want to now read and write results, because it is when you have the governor on your side, you can now use him to dole out money and you write results. That's what they are doing. Why are they not doing electoral reforms? Why are they not doing?
I was going to ask that. What do you think? What do you think is the greatest stumbling block to electoral reforms in Nigeria?
The insincerity of the government to actually move towards this.
But not the government. Not the government go do the electoral reform. The National Assembly. So what's stopping them?
The government is the largest influencer of actions in our country. Whatever the government wants done is done. So if the government, that is just the truth. And we know electoral reforms. So you should ask yourself, why are they beating about the bush and being dodgy about electoral reforms? These are the things you need to ask yourself. Please, let us not deceive ourselves or pretend we don't know what's going on. Our country right now is under state capture. And it's because of that state capture, which was actually originally organized by Buhari and his people under the CPC, that they have now seen Tinubu continue, but in a way that also edges them out. This is the way. That's why they're angry and they're out and they have joined. And if they really want this thing to work, the only way to help them, like Peter Obi explained on the television program, when you want to change a society, you must see that society like a church. It's not only the righteous people that should come to church, but also the bad people. So we need the good, the bad, the ugly to be able to come together to reform and change society. As far as I'm concerned, I am very disappointed in the way our president has carried on the duties of state. The nepotism is what is angering a lot of people. I thought it would work out differently, but I am surprised at what I have seen. What kind of nepotism is this? You give 4 ministers to one state, and the whole of the Southeast has only 5 ministers. How is that possible? How is that normal in a state like this? Let me tell you another thing. Imo State is home to 54% of Nigeria's gas reserve from just that thing in Asa North, in Egbema. And yet, Imo State is not there in the national gas pipeline. No pressure pipe passes through the southeast. It is only now the people in government are trying to see how they can get gas. This is not proper. How can you pipe? This is what Buhari did. Since Tinubu came, what has he done to reverse those things? This is it. When you do policies that undermine any segment of society, you should not be surprised if they react. And this is the problem. So yes, when Buhari was there, Buhari's recognized nepotism was targeted against the East. But then later on, it spread everywhere. Tinubu has come, and his own is every single thing he does will be concentrated in the hands of the people from Lagos. That's not proper. This is highway he's doing now. Only way he does it, and it passes through the earliest coastal states in the southwest, that it will extend down to the east. I don't see that. I don't trust the things they do. So for me, insincerity is a problem. I'm happy now that the number of frustrated people has grown. You know, Nigeria has become a place like Europe. When first Hitler started against the Jews, people kept quiet. They said, I'm not a Jew. Then he came against the trade union. They said, I'm not the trade union. Then he came against the Catholic. They said, but by the time he came against those remaining, who Tinubu have not come, he has now gone against those that are seen to be interests of the CPC people. What have they done? They've now jumped up. Imagine the CPC teaming up with Peter Obi. Is that not something anybody will ask? But that's what we're having today. The CPC, if you remove Peter Obi from that ADC alliance, it is a reformed CPC. That's what it is. Atiku and his remnants of the old MPDP, that's what it is. Those people are burnt. For me, Atiku is of no consequence in Nigeria's game. Look at him talking about corruption. How? Because he had Peter Obi say that those who do corruption will be shocked that he's talking about corruption. Who will ever take him seriously? And a man who does not believe in inclusion of the aspirations of Nigeria's diversity in nation building. How can you trust such a person? So for me, it is good that Peter Obi is in there with them, talking to them, showing them what it is. People like me will also be reminding them that if you don't take Peter Obi, Peter will move. So someone like Kenneth talking like a purchase thing and you're asking me how is that? Let me tell you the truth. Kenneth doesn't know how we started the movement. We started the movement as a consequence of me and Doi Nokupe's anger at the refusal of people from Atiku's part of the country to respect inclusion. Atiku told us in 2013, inclusion is sacrosanct, and so he's going to not agree that good luck should run. And that was how he formed NPDP, went and worked with Buhari. Buhari promised him he'd do one term. When he now saw sign where he was preparing for the next election, that was when he ran back to the PDP. And then, as you saw, the PDP recognized their mistake and said they will zone the presidency to the north. That was why in 2019, I was a member of the Presidential Campaign Council, and we now zone the presidency to the north. Now that the north has done their 8 years, no, Atiku's own is to use dollars to destroy.
But these are mere accusations. What is the evidence that Atiku is going to use dollar to destroy the election? I wonder. Say, why is they hard for parties, especially a party where don't come and say it one day fair now, to choose a direct primary as against an indirect primary? Where it be say every member of the party go register, then vote directly to choose person who go represent them. So if ADC really wants to effect change, why they no fit choose direct primary so that the entire Nigerians, including you, including me, everybody will go say make we register as members of ADC. Now where registration they go on. And as we register as ADC members, we know say we get the right to vote for the primaries for who our presidential candidates go be. Why is it hard for ADC to do that? And why are they not thinking or making it known right now that, oh, we're going to adopt a direct primaries election for our, to determine our candidacy? What's wrong with that, sir?
These things are all suggestions. They, as a political unit, the caucus have every right to adopt whatever they want to govern their ways. But what I'm telling you is, nation building should be paramount in anybody who. Let me repeat it again. If the Southerners bent over backward to accommodate the Northerners, and we did quota system.
What was that
Why
quota
is
system?
it difficult for?
Okay, yeah.
Quota system was simply an affirmative action to make sure those who are displaced or who are not advantaged come in. So far, the East has been disadvantaged through the years of military rule. The military wrote decrees to actually favor themselves. You can see it. They created more states where there are no people. If you want to know the truth about our population density, look at the correlation between school enrollment and population density. All the lies they say was damaged by the beavers, because beavers was the first time we actually demanded for biometric authentication of voters before they can vote. That's why you saw all those massive phantom votes that used to come from the north didn't come again. What did Buhari do? He was forced to cancel the election, and they said it was glitch. Then they wrote the one they wrote, and then abracadabra, blah, blah, magic, power, they announced the results. Good. We have allowed that to go on because of nation building. But what we started 8 months to the election has grown. Peter has now become something big.
But sir, just to take you back again and for purpose of clarity, are you saying that President Muhammadu Buhari deliberately perhaps ignored the glitch on INEC because of say not get those numbers we supposed get for election? I will see you the talk, sir.
Yes, he did not. The numbers they were looking for, they couldn't. Let me just tell you the best player to understand how the voting went. Look at Abuja votes. Look at Lagos votes. Look at the votes from all the military installations. In the military installation, nobody was there to rig. So look at how they went. Those things were honest pointers to how the votes were across the country. But no, we are this administration. And I'll still tell you, so forget those who are blaming Tinubu. Tinubu is just a buyer who's available. When the private administration now stopped everything and then said that they are, we asked them, why didn't they say glitch? That's not true. Amazon Web Services that the government said, shut up, that's a glitch. What do you know? We're the ones who say so.
Yes, Amazon rep said there was no glitch, and yes, I think
of course there was no glitch.
During the tribunal.
The government now manufactured their own acrobatic, and that thing could they manufactured is what they announced. And when you like it or not, it is within Nigeria's own territorial control, and they did what they did. The same people who were in charge to do that glitch are the same people that have now left power with Tinubu because they didn't get what they thought Tinubu would give them. Because every time they talk to Tinubu, Tinubu will say, what's the problem? How? I paid you off. They don't like that. So they have come out now, they want to merge with Peter. And suddenly, as we are talking, you heard what Atiku was saying the other day. Have I ever lost before? Have I ever lost before? If he told you, has he ever lost primary before? What is it that makes him doesn't lose? He dollarizes the primaries. And Peter Obi is not going to compete in a dollarized primaries. Peter will go away and take another. That's why he told everybody on television, about a week ago, that he will run on the platform of the Labour Party. And as I say it again, I thank people of Labour Party for giving us a platform to sell Peter.
But they're already suspending Peter Obi now, sir. Labour Party is already suspending Peter Obi that he's playing anti-party activities now.
Which Labour Party? Forget those things. Labour Party has a lot of noisemakers that can talk. Arababi can write. Papa can say his own. The other people can do anything. Peter is just, what he's told you is, he has gone to look at the prospect of having a coalition, but he's still in the Labour Party. The ADC is a prospect for 2027 if terms are agreed. That's just what it is. Understand that. Reform my words. If terms are agreed. So what he has said is he's still in the Labour Party, but there are talks about what can happen in 2027 if terms are agreed. And that's exactly what he meant. And I'm telling you, for you to understand how we didn't start the youth movement suddenly to now come and do a somersault. As I told you, all those you were asking me stories of Kenneth Okonkwo. Kenneth didn't know what we were doing. We were simply doing that youth movement to force inclusion, to make sure that Nigeria's diversity is included in nation building. That's what we're doing. So that a few people who have money don't hijack the country's democracy. That is the reason for that. So we now know that those who can be paid from, like now you get money from Qatar, and then you're using that money to dollarize a primary. We don't think that is proper. We will not accept that. We will go elsewhere, and that's how it is. Take it from me. So for Peter represents the possibility of a new Nigeria. If you're not going to have him the way he comes, clean hands, we will not work with you. And that's what it is. So they want to now play on the magic of P2B. Of course, it comes with a cost. That cost is you need to be clean and fair primaries. But no, Atiku has already started his dollarized arrangement. They must zone to the south. If they don't zone to the south, we'll move on. Mark my word. Take what I have just told you now. If you don't zone it to the south and Peter is there, Peter will move on and he will go elsewhere.
If that happens, what is the possibility of Peter being winning the election again? Because people they insinuate, say once they make this election 3-leg race again, that's an easy win for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is another problem. There is no electoral reform. There is no electoral reform, and there is no coalition. Then how do you go solo again?
You seem not to understand something. With this 3-way race in the last election, Peter came up tops with no party. The people who had party were all getting how many? Peter got 6 million plus. Atiku got 6 million plus. Atiku had all the PDP governors. Peter had no governor. Don't you understand that? If a man with no governor or no state, no nothing, no house of assembly, no councillor could get 6 million plus, and those with all the governors and everything, plus all the billions they spent, still got 6 million plus, doesn't that tell you something about such a candidate? This is we're talking about the one that the INEC agreed to allocate to. Those numbers allocated. What about what he won really? What about the real count? So we are talking from the issue of the numbers, the data. We have access to the data, not access to the propaganda. You hear these small people talk. I'm not speaking because somebody has paid me. If somebody has paid me, I will say yes. I will only work for somebody who's from Adamawa State. I'll only work for somebody who's from Northern Nigeria. I will only work for somebody. What kind of nonsense is that? A man that we gave fame. Whoever knew Kenneth to go away before as a politician, if not that we gave him a platform under the Biden movement. So now he has now gotten that platform to go and collect money from Atiku to come and start castigating us that gave him that platform. God will judge him. But we'll keep moving. And that's what I have to tell Nigerians.
So are you saying that the entire analogy of Kenneth Okonkwo is irrational, perhaps is not plausible? The fact that it is better to fight a southerner with a northerner and all of those analogy. They talk, say, add up.
That is not the reason why. That is not the reason why. We are a movement. And the movement is for inclusion. And that inclusion says we must allow power to rotate between the north and the south. That's what it is. The reasons why I and Tony Nukupe, who were working with Bukola Saraki, left Bukola Saraki's campaign team to say we must do certain candidates. What me now? And then Peter Obi didn't agree. We now started organizing. I started meeting leaders, Igbo leaders, talking to them, going everywhere. I even got to Lagos, where Obasanjo helped us to organize a symposium at the Nigerian Institute for International Affairs with George Obiozo then, and everybody who came. Atongbera came. He hadn't joined. He wasn't there with us. It was when we had gained momentum, all these people came. Look at him now. We gave him platform. He has now known only to go and take dollars and then run there and say that is who he worked with. He doesn't understand what we're doing. We are running a campaign to force inclusion in Nigeria. What I will want is let the South rule, let the North rule, so that nobody in Nigeria is excluded. What they are throwing about are the numbers and the statistics as arranged by soldiers, but by the implementation of beavers. We know the truth. We know those phantom numbers don't exist. We are looking at the correlation between school enrollment and population density, and we know this is real. Forget the jaundice numbers they give you. If we don't do honest census and free and fair election, we're not going to go anywhere.
But in terms of support, in terms of
Yes.
support from the north, do you think that Peter Obi is likely to get at least favorable support from northerners or northern Nigeria?
Yes. Peter Obi won the election in Plateau. Peter Obi got it there in Benue. Peter Obi got it in Taraba. Peter Obi got it in Abuja. Are those northern states? Why are you talking like this? It is just where candidates are. Not what north are you talking of? What was in my mind during the campaign was because of the militia killings will make us gain a lot of, and that was why Peter Obi was doing ethnic penetration campaign. We went to Taraba, we made the Chukuns, we made the Wurukuns. When we went to Benue, we met Chiefs, we met Itomas, we met Igede, we met Agatus. We went to Nasarawa, we spoke to Aho people, we spoke to Gwandara people, we spoke to Egon people, we spoke to Mada people in Akwanga. That is ethnic penetration. We went to Kaduna, we talked to Jaba people. Remember when we went to IDP camps. No other candidate went to IDP camps. Peter Obi did there severally. And when we got to IDP camps, came back, Zumi started complaining. Kumi, the terrorist organizer, he said whoever, blah, 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 goes to those who are displaced, they will not support. We did not care. The next week, Peter visited again. It is called ethnic penetration. We went to, and because we knew that there was genocide going up in that region, they will support us. This is the truth. So forget that. Are those people not northerners? Are they not still being killed? Allow me go back and tell them what we do. You will see what they will do. So, my brother, leave these issues. We understand this country. I do. I speak Hausa. I speak Fufude. I grew up as a Birum boy in Jos. I schooled there. So I am more of a northerner than even a southerner. So this one you're talking not. Who are the northerners? The people who refuse were mostly Fulanese. The Fulanis are not the northern now. The Fulanis came. They were the last to come to northern Nigeria. We have Hausas who are being killed in places like Basari, Sapana, Tutima, Emusa, Kankara, Maru, Bungudu. We went to all these places and I spoke to Hausa leaders. I spoke to Hausa leaders too, as far as places like Dansedawu, Malele. We spoke to them and told them that when Peter come to power, we will stop the ethnic cleanses. I met them in Bungudu. So why would you be talking about, are these not Nigerians? No, don't tell me about some whatnot. These are the people being killed. These are the people being genocide against. And these are like TV people. Can't you see how autumn was for Peter? This is the truth. We did ethnic penetration and we will still do the same again. So for those who are being killed in this industrial scale ethnic cleansing, Peter Obi was willing to be their president. Okay. And that's why you saw Peter Obi won across North Central. So why you tell me not? You call it General North. Is Lagos not Yoruba land? Didn't Peter win in Lagos State? So stop pitching us into ethnic blocks. No, we did, and I repeat, ethnic penetration. Can't you see now? Today Peter went to see Dantata, the Dantata family. This is who he is. He goes everywhere. So I don't understand why you people don't understand this. Someone like Atiku should hire poll stars. Let them tell him the truth. He is not popular at 80 years. He should go and sit down and support Peter Obi. I am giving it to you now for that coalition to work. Peter will be at the top. If Peter is not there, we will walk away. Take my word. Just mark it today as I've said it.
All right. So, sir, just like you mentioned earlier, why P2B don't do everybody mouths? People they talk say it be like say he did deliberate attempt where they make to demarket P2B amongst other candidates, because the ruling party and some other people in recent times just they deliberately they attack P2B. Say in fact, even the interview with Sean Okimaloye, he jokefully called him that, are you Saint Obi or Saint Peter Obi, Saint Gregory? You're an Anglican and Catholic saint and all that. So people are beginning to demarket him or make it look like it's not even good, and he's not good enough. Then they brought in the issue of him working for Abacha. They brought in the issue of him being an importing business, being an importer and all those. Why do you support his candidacy, and why do you so believe that P2B is the one man who can remove Nigeria from where it is right now?
I followed him. I listened to him. My relationship with him wasn't based on money. It doesn't give me nothing. I sought him. I begged him first. He refused. But those who knew that he listens to me, they told me to continue. I kept begging him. When I went to Anambra leaders like Chidelu, Partner Sonic, he told me, no, Kacha, I don't believe you. Peter won't run. You're just lying. He will not agree. That was when Peter hadn't agreed, though. But I was getting leaders everywhere. Gosun Okoye was following me. With other leaders. Okwadike was there. We now got heavy. People came in to sell. We've never done this before. Nobody had been this popular, not even Zik. And we said we can market it. I understand this. Look, we a lot of this thing. And by the time we came home for Christmas, we have taken care of it. That's why you saw all those Igbos who lost out, the politicians. By the time we got back, they were now leaving the party. They knew they had lost. I built up momentum and we went to election. I have the capacity to speak this way now. How many people can talk like this? Because they didn't start what we started. There are those who will be too afraid. Coalition leaders will talk to them. But you see, everybody is bringing their own game. You're seeing now Kenneth and Boala market their own people. They market who they want to market. My own, I'm selling my own market. This is a market I started selling 8 months to the last election.
So that is why
Yes,
that's why I'm asking you
we
this
did.
question. So you help us tell us your market. Sell your market. Let Nigerians understand why they should believe in your candidate.
My candidate is the best because in all these things they've said, you talked about Abacha. Peter then as a trader, Peter complained. And amongst them went to tell Abacha, why did the congestion? Abacha said, don't come here and talk to me anyhow. If you can do it yourself. Peter decongested the ports. He did not take 10 naira from them and he moved away. That is Peter for you. Sometimes when things got bad, you go there, he had the courage to look Abacha in his eyes and tell him the truth that these things are not working properly and your policies are not working, the port is not moving, we traders cannot get our goods out. He said, who do you think you're telling? You know how to run the country? Very good. Or you go and do it. Because that's how administrators do. They want now to task you. Peter did it fantastically well. Peter did not collect 10 kobo from anybody from that batch of government. Peter moved on. So the government was very happy.
So why then is it a problem for most opposition parties that Peter Obi rendered a sort of service during Abacha's regime, ignoring Muhammadu Buhari, who was a military junta, who even ousted somebody, and they voted for him overwhelmingly 2 times to come and become our president in a democratic dispensation.
Because
so why Ibi say they no see that one? Then why Ibi say that Peter Obi working or doing any service for Abacha be the problem? I'd like you to clear and make Nigerians understand.
Well, some also like to demonize Abacha. Go to Bayelsa, they love Abacha. Go to Table, they love Abacha. You see, that's why I told you the other time, if people, Tinubu represent different things to different people. People like, some of them now talking against Abacha are dirtier than Abacha. The current government, the nepotism it has displayed, Abacha never was this nepotistic. Yes. It was never like this. Yeah, take it from me. Abacha did not exhibit this level of nepotism when he was president. So how can you want to Abacha seized power at a very difficult time. A lot of them perambulating work with Abacha. Though me, I condemn military rule. I didn't bring it down. I didn't serve under military. But I worked for Abiola. I was working with Osaro in Ikeja during the Abiola Hope 93. That was when I started politics. And we were the people who were there, who will be there on Allen. By the time all the people will start moving from Agege to come, we were the coordinators there on Allen Avenue for those Hope 93 protests. And we've been here. So I know these people left, right, and center. Most of them have been in power. What have they achieved? Tell me what they've achieved. Nothing. And they are coming back. I also blame Tinubu for the current crisis because if Tinubu had actually fought corruption proper since he came, most of them who stole money now and are using the money to do all these things that he is afraid of, they wouldn't be able to do it. When you are not able to fight corruption and the people will now take the money that they hold, which you are not able to recover from them, why did they told him, how can you talk to us? Why are you not part of that government? Leave us with the money we stole, I beg. That is the truth.
Yeah, no vex. You say the reason why make President Bola Ahmed Tinubu no fit fight corruption under President Muhammadu Buhari, where did they complain about?
No. The reason he can't fight it now is because a lot of the people that could be fought, are telling him that he was part and parcel of the Buhari administration. That's what they're telling him.
But he was not part of the administration. Now, what is the evidence that he was part of Buhari's administration? Or was he part of the administration by chance?
He was a party leader. Once a leader sits, yes, you know the adage that says, leader who watches silently while the goat dies in the ticket should be seen as being guilty. A leader doesn't stay and keep quiet until you don't remember all those killings. Remember when Tinubu was asked, where are the herdsmen? Where are the cattle? Where are the all those? You keep quiet. We thought he would change when he comes. Now he's present. Tinubu, is he fighting the militiamen who are killing Nigerians across the Middle Belt? No. Did Tinubu visit IDP camp? No, Peter did. So these things are not too very difficult for us to discover. One question I will put to those who say they are supporting Atiku. My fight is for inclusion of our plural society, of our diverse society in the governance of Nigeria. You're not going to now dollarize our primaries and then tell me, no. Let the zoning be respected. You zone to the south, you zone to the... Why did PDP die? Because the PDP refused to respect zoning. How did PDP refuse? Because the PDP was compromised by Atiku. Atiku gave 100 million and took that form. The minute that form was taken, they now started using the 100 million to do party administration. When I went as part of Igbo leaders to see Ayocha in his house, what he told me was simple. The money the man has given us, who's going to refund it to us? Because we're really using it now to run the party. You're going to refund us the 100 million? So when you say you collect money, then you set up a zoning committee, it will not work. Didn't they say it was Atiku who said, hey, I want it to go to Southeast if it goes, it is Wike stopping it. Why is Atiku not saying it now? Is Wike still in the AGC? Because when he said that, is Wike in the AGC? No! Don't allow people to lie to you. I am there. I am a participant. So I don't need people from outside to tell me. I have been a member of every single PDP presidential campaign team since 2003 till the last one I didn't, because I left the PDP and started the obedient movement, got a candidate after so much tries, and then we ran on the platform of the Labour Party. And that's why I still tell you, I am grateful for the Labour Party for giving us a platform to market Peter Obi. Secondly, I am grateful for Peter Obi for agreeing. I will have died of shame because some people were telling me then, why are you making noise in PDP platforms? You don't have a candidate. I said, I will get one because I know how to do these things. Everybody has his own skill. I have that skill to get one. When I talked to Peter, Peter refused. And that's why I still love him. You know, he has that Catholic heart. He said, no, I cannot run against my principal. And that was word he used. He used that word to me in front of Minister of Foreign Affairs. There at the First Secretary. He said, no, I cannot run against that. I said, what? That was when I now left him. I started going to the Igbo leaders like Okwadike. I went to Chief SNO. We started having meetings all over the place. And then I got to Nabweni, Chideno, Partner Sonic, and he told me, no, that Peter will never do Peter this, Peter that. We had to organize. I was going around collecting money to organize that thing. Peter came there. That was the first day in Wuse. He said, okay, he will run. That was it. Okay. Even he kept talking. He just didn't want to run.
All right. So still speaking about the candidacy of Peter Obi, right? A lot of people are saying that Shebi don't go join coalition, and some of the people who did this coalition now part of people will destroy our country like this. So if by chance Incon happened to be the presidential candidate of the coalition, what is the possibility that he will not do what President Bola Tinubu is doing now by not probing the people who put us into the problem that we are? If those people waiting in government, they corrupt. What's the possibility saying go probe them? Understand
it's very, very simple. A leader doesn't talk about probing anybody before he gets in. But there are ways these things are done. You keep quiet, you get in, and when you get in, say, oh, Bobby gonna come. Anybody will take anything, please go there, clean yourself. There are ways these things are done. They are done neatly. The country has money to run itself. Not you come there, everything that's in the till has been taken by people. No. That's not, Tinubu is not doing this because he doesn't have the capacity. No. If he's not doing the program, how come he's also, it's only last week talk about giving instruction to the security services to go hard on those who have been committing ethnic cleansings on industrial scale. Don't you know what the militias are doing? The following militias just test. And when they test and see that the community is society docile, they continue. If not that Nigerians are docile, do you think that the Fulani militias will have killed from Kaduna, killed in what's it called, in Niger State, killed in Nasarawa, killed through Plateau, and then now in Benue? If Benue falls, the East becomes vulnerable. And that's one of the things I saw those years. That's why I was mounting those campaigns all over television. Some leaders were asking me, what is it you're doing? People are not, I say they will listen. The more I sustain my propagation, if it is not portals, one day it will be acceptable as a true wisdom. And that's what is now today. So I didn't start today. Just check the videos, check my record. People, some don't who bad back me, some just die, forget it. Forget it because you're not in Benue. Forget it because you're not in Plateau. You know, when they carry someone else's corpse, because it's not your own or you know someone from your place, you don't care. My dear sister, we should. A killing in Plateau should worry those in rivers. A killing in Benue should worry people in Oyo. A killing in Niger State should worry everybody in Ebonyi State. Because tomorrow, it could be the turn of those in Enugu or those in Abia State. Nobody is free when problem comes into every household. And today in Nigeria, we have crisis. There's a war on. And the government should not pretend there's no war on. And that's why I say I am very disappointed. Take it from me. If Peter is president, the killings will stop. It is what the president tolerates that other people will also do. If the president doesn't tolerate it, others will not do it. I tell you, if Peter doesn't get into fraud, he doesn't get into corruption, those beside him will stop it. If Peter doesn't allow the soldiers to look the other way, as Danjuma said, or collude with those who kill Nigerians, as Tiwa Danjuma says, nobody will dare try it. Everybody will know that the game is over. Leadership comes from the actions of the man at the top. That's what leadership is. When you act, those below you will learn, and they will follow. And the important thing is trust. Do they trust the leader? Do they trust that this is his way? Once this is his way, and people know, everybody just respect themselves, they will follow in the way of the leader. Just the same way you see Tinubu wear his branded cap, others will follow because they want to do eye service. It's the same thing. Yeah, that's the way it works. That's the way it works. If the leader is honest, leader is sincere, others will follow quickly because you know that leader will not tolerate anything like that. That's the way it is.
Okay, so now as it take be like this, which platform will Peter Obi go fit come wrong with if he be say the coalition ticket no reach him? Because Labour Party now don't cast with waiting they go on inside. Even if he wants to make a contest under Labour Party, there's a possibility that may be constant litigation that may disqualify his candidacy. You understand? So
let me tell you, forget about Labour Party is not the only platform available to us, even till today. There are plenty platforms.
Okay. But people they talk, say why no one make up in mind quick. Because people won't know so that they go flood that party.
Peter believes that he cannot. Peter believes he cannot win alone.
Okay.
He has gotten the youth. Okay. He has gotten the youth. But he now also wants to the buy-in of the good, the bad, and the ugly. But despite him having the good, the bad, it's like attending a church. In a church, all sorts of criminals are there. Even some thieves read the first and second lesson. That's what it is. Church is for sinners. Church is also for the good people. Church is for those who are stable or those who are lost and are seeking their own spiritual paths. So, political party is like a church. And that's what he told you. You can't fix society by just following only the good people. There are things in my community that when armed robbers steal a car, you call some of the bad boys and tell them this happened so and so junction. They say, okay, cool down. They will call 1, 2, 3, so guys say, go so and so place, so and so time, you see your vehicle. Everybody is important in a community, even the criminals. It is a truth. So, but you, as a good leader, must know how to manage them. That is the truth. So let's not think we can run the country by throwing everybody away. No. But you need a leader who can be sincere. A leader who will do the right thing for the country. A leader who will have the courage to think that you should come first. Like Obasanjo. No matter what anybody says, despite his flaws, Obasanjo remains the best. Obasanjo still remains unmatched by all who have ruled since our return to our incipient democracy, whether you like it or not.
But remember that interview that Kenneth Okonkwo had. He said it was about Obasanjo that started what is happening now. When he be saying supposed to do only 4 years, so that other zones go do for 4 years, make the thing go round. He mean can go run for second turn, and we make even one run for third turn, and we make everybody think say they go do, then get entitled, they entitled to do second turn. So was he also, did he do well?
Whatever it is, it is wrong. I have been in politics before Mr. Okonkwo came in. Okonkwo only joined us when he met me, and he came in from what's this called? APC. So he has gone back to where he belongs. Obasanjo ruled for 2 terms. But because of the reforms he had in mind, he thought he could do 3rd term. I was among those who worked against him for 3rd term. I'm not afraid to say it. I was on television every time. I'd come to AIT to talk against 3rd term, and I will escape through the bushes. That was me. So, but that was in the past. And if you ask Obasanjo, he will tell you people came to sell the idea to him. And then he told them, if you can work, let's see. But it failed. We defeated that idea. Okay? But when Obasanjo left, he passed the power to Yar'Adua. Unfortunately, Yar'Adua did not last long. Then Goodluck, his deputy, took over through that doctrine of necessity. And after that came President Buhari. And then now you have President Tinubu. So if Tinubu has done 4 years, and those who want to support Peter tell him he will do 1 term, he has already written it down, he will do 1 term. Okay. They are the ones that need Peter. Peter has popularity. They now want to use that popularity to launch themselves back to power. So they have to pay a price. They have to pay that price of allowing him to use that his popularity to bring them as a political party to power. And then they can take it from there. But you see, Peter is going to set up great standards that will make it impossible for anybody to undermine our process next time after he rules.
Okay. So let's speak to some of the policies of this administration, really, because as soon as they criticize the government, saying that we need to do coalition, the government is also saying that they've also worked very hard. For instance, Minister for Information today tell us say about 1.5 million people, youths, don't get students loan, and they don't get money with their business scheme and all that. Are they not trying hard enough? The other time, President told us that even with his own mouth for live broadcast, say they don't attract huge amount of money for foreign direct investment, even though we don't see that money right now. So, how
you are parroting rhetorics to me. Show it to me on paper. Parroting rhetorics don't change nothing. Show the paper to me. Show me the paper. Let me look at it. Not telling me you've given. Somebody may have an idea of what he wants to do. Come and tell me. What? Show it to me. Let me see it on paper. Let me see it on. Look, me, Dr. Kach, I'd love Tinubu to succeed. When he succeeds, Nigeria succeeds. I succeed. I am part of the local market. We all go to the same market. If Tinubu succeeds, I will be happy. I will gain. Then the next time come, and if that person succeeds, we will gain. Listen, a rise up leads all boats. So I will be very happy for the Tinubu administration to succeed so that I can also rise in that rising tide. Nobody is happy that the country has gone moribund simply because Buhari and his gang succeeded in achieving state capture and then use that to sell the presidency to Tinubu, and then Tinubu now using that to, whenever they come say, what is it? I don't owe you. I've not paid you off. And they are getting angry. Remember when they say we should come together and go and protest against them? Do you know why we say we won't follow them to protest against Tinubu? Because of this now. Because we thought those people coming together to say let's protest against are the same people who caused the glitch. So we said we will not protest. And some of them were frustrated. Say, why I said we will not protest? Since you say you don't like free and fair election, enjoy your Tinubu. That's why I talk. And then I relax. Yes, and I started praying that Tinubu government should get well. Let me be honest to you. It's not that everything that he has done that is bad. I love Tinubu's removal of the government's disruption of the energy market, which you call removal of subsidy. But what I say I don't like is the implementation of that removal. Secondly, I want to see the savings from those removals and where those savings are put into. When I was working for President Goodluck Jonathan, when he sent me to television to go and talk about subsidy removal, I was also talking about where the things were to be put. I was talking about the palliatives were to be put in place. Can't you see now? You're telling me they're telling you about palliative today because they've heard about ADC coalition. So those things don't really work that way. It doesn't work that way. You know, all I say, my number one story, I seek a level playing ground. I seek equity. Me and my people can compete. I don't want you to dash me. Don't favor me with nepotism. No, I want a level playing ground. I want a Nigeria that is available for us. Don't forget, this is a very pluralistic society. So you must respect our diversity. It is Buhari's lack of respect of our diversity. That's why I was against him. It was when Osibanjo was in charge of the school blah, blah, blah program, and I didn't like how it was. I went against him. He said he will remove his immunity and take me to court. And when people reach me, I said, if I see Yemi any day near a court, I will open chapter 2 of my files on him. Yemi Oyibusima, they never went to no court. Because that very day, I went to leaders. They called me, and I went there. I got to the place of President Goodluck. He asked me one thing. He said, do you think Osibanjo will resign because of you? I said, no. So I said, very good. The immunity is on the office, not on the person. For him to go take it to court, he has to resign from office. So I told myself, oh, this is just blowing hot air. Nobody will take me to anywhere. I am still talking to you now. Osibanjo never went to any court because I dared him. I see him in near court. I was going to open the other files I have on him. He didn't know where I was getting my papers from because the National Assembly has just had a public hearing on Nema and so on, and they gave me the files. So he was thinking I was working with Amaechi and Buhari and Co. I had all the facts I wanted, and I was not afraid. I called his bluff, and nothing happened. It is me. I'm still talking to you. So I have ability. That time when I was fighting the Buhari administration, where was what's his name? Atiku. Atiku ran away to Dubai after cutting a deal with them. He only came back to come and use dollar to buy the primaries after Buhari's 8 years. That was why we let the PDP for him.
All right. So
I don't take such nonsense. That's just the truth, and that's who I am.
All right. So now moving forward, sir, what's the next step for the coalition? Step towards perhaps preparing themselves for the 2023 election, 2027 election. How soon can they go about the selection or voting appointment of their candidates so that Peter Obi and Amaechi and him Atiku go know their stand, make them for free move on?
It's not that I don't speak for the coalition.
Okay.
I only speak for the Biden movement.
Okay.
Which I am a founding leader of.
So the last time Obedient they tried to register a party. They see they register the party.
Hear me now.
Okay.
Hear me. The coalition will sit down, as I told you earlier. The first plan is they come together. The second plan is they start planning, they start talking to people, they start talking to themselves. Of course, you see different people, different supporters. Those who want Atiku are talking for Atiku. Those who don't want are talking. That's why I'm not coming to try to remind the coalition the reasons why I started the revolt in the PDP, which later gave birth to the movement, which later had haunted Peter, and Peter became the head, and we had the obedient movement. And that's why I'm saying, if you want this your thing to work, do a post-mortem of why the PDP disintegrated. It is disintegrated because after the pendulum for presidency has been in the South North for 8 years, people like Atiku Abubakar mobilize some people to say, no, the pendulum should not swing to the south. I could do something. I knew what I can do with my clout. There are people who do not know what they can do with their own. I know I have clout. I know I could talk. Some people get paid. Some people pay money before they can come to television. Every day I'm in front of TV cameras. You know, like they say in life, everybody, this game is shared. Debo said, take it on. So everybody, the jobs are shared. This is my own job. And I know how to talk to arouse. I know how to talk to make my points. And that's the issue. I started talking. Some leaders got across to me and say, Kachi, what are you doing? You are riling the party. You are disturbing everywhere. You are just antagonizing. I said, let me antagonize, but I won't accept it.
All right. So you have
not as good for 8 years.
You have to make me a promise that you prepare and come next time. Let's market your candidates or your candidate of choice with facts.
I don't have to market. No. My candidate of choice doesn't need to. I don't have any candidate to market. Let me tell you again.
Why?
The candidate is busy marketing himself. Let me tell you. My own job is I seek inclusion of Nigeria's pluralistics, diversity in nation building. That is what I'm marketing. The reason why we've started the game, go secretly talk to people in the PDP, they will tell you what happened. When I started in the PDP, they thought I was joking. On all PDP forums, we have WhatsApp, I was telling them all, I refused. Some will tell me, but where's your, I said, don't worry, I get a candidate. I know how to get candidates. So I have now told you how these things happened. And I'm trying to tell the coalition, if they must go forward, they must do a postmortem to ask what happened for the minority, for the opposition to disintegrate. When you refuse on inclusion.
To learn from that.
Forget all that crap. So that's what it is. If you don't include, right now the presidency has been in the South now for 2 years. Let me tell you this trick these people are playing. You know, before they just do democracy, then the soldier will just do a coup, then they say, okay, we're going back and you go back again, you now engineer. But those engineering to get a candidate from the North every time perpetually is over. Remember when the time we started democracy, they quickly went to Obasanjo, brought him and said he will run. You know why? To compensate the Yoruba
for Abiola's
for the stealing of Abiola's election. It was a wrong thing for Abiola to win a Southerner. You annulled it, then gave the advantage to Abacha, a Northerner. That's what it is. That was the reason for Nadeko. So why would it now be a Northerner has finished ruling for 8 years? More Northerners want to rule. So where are we? Are we spectators? Did we come to look at pictures on the wall? It doesn't work that way now. So what we are saying is, you cannot market an 80-year-old man. There's nothing he will do. Let us correct the problem, seek Peter Obi forum shopping, and then we can bring everybody in to come and work for the coalition.
Thank you,
If they don't do that, we will work. We will move it.
Okay, there's something I want you to speak to. You know, say, waiting with the talk. Because I tell you, say, people, they talk, not be me talk, more people, they talk and say, it be like, say, deliberate attempt they to demarket the Peter Obi to the public. Now, one of the things, so they don't use the market, and I say, it's a bit bring wrong statistics. Say almost all the statistics when they bring, they wrong. Say first of all, in talk, say dollar go up. Say because of, say they borrow money. Say they don't borrow more money right now, past the administration of Yaradua, Jonathan and Buhari put together. They are claiming that they did not borrow, that what happened was because of the devaluation of the Naira. So most of those money, if you can't convert them back to dollar, it can't be like, say, it don't go up. Say, no, be say them borrow past those people. And then secondly, this administration told us sometime, I think December last year, thereabout, that they have attracted, the president, I think it was even in one of his national speech, I think it was on his January 1 speech or so, thereabout, I can't remember, say they don't attract foreign direct investment was $30 billion. $30 billion. And people can say, $30 billion enter inside our economy. The economy no shake. We no notice and say the thing do gim, move body. $30 billion. And the presidency come maintain, say yes. Say that money where they say that attract, say not true, say no be fluke. Say no be fake news. Say true, they attract $30 billion. But as they look through the statistics of the African countries which attract most foreign direct investment for Africa, Nigeria name no too dey there like that. We're not even there for the first 10. If you look the name well, we're not there the first
that
10
simply tells
at
you
all at all.
What you mean, what you see is that the government rules by propaganda. So the propaganda is plenty. So also when you're talking about attacking Peter, the marketing Peter, there is no tree you see people throw plenty stone on that doesn't have good fruits. It's only the trees with good fruits that they will be throwing something on, so that those fruits will fall. Yes, and as they throw it, the fruit will fall. They are demarketing the tree by taking the good thing from it that they want. Why is everybody so obsessed with Peter Obi? Have you asked yourself why? Onanuga, Peter Obi, Boala, Obi, Reno Mokri, Peter Obi, Minister for Information, Peter Obi, even governors where the thing no concern, Peter Obi, Obayi, Peter Obi, everybody, Peter Obi. Have you ever asked yourself why? You know, say person with the name plenty, get with something where they see for anybody. It is the fear of Peter Obi that is causing all this. Ask yourself, why the fear? There are things they know about Peter Obi that probably the population don't know. But I can tell you this. Why is Peter Obi the most popular politician in Nigeria? Why are the youths gravitating towards him? What is it that the youths have seen that these elderly people attacking Peter Obi haven't seen? There's nothing wrong with being attacked. I get attacked too. There are, even during that time when we were doing Peter Obi, there were even people who were attacking me. Take it from me. The day we called meeting at Rockville Hotel, some of them were telling, why are you doing this? Why are you promoting this man? Why are you doing this? You're deceiving him. This Labour Party doesn't have structure. This was what Igbo elders were telling me when I went for meeting for Peter Obi. And I was inside the car park talking to Peter because Peter was going to drive that day. I had gone the day before to Kwankwaso's house to go to talk to Kwankwaso about running with Peter. After Peter, because take me to Kwankwaso.
That is before Kwankwaso called Peter Obi Andrew's liver salts.
At Alpha Casino La Crescent.
Okay.
I came and we were going for meeting of Igbo leaders called by Chief Iwanyang at Rockville Hotel. Me and Peter were discussing at the car park because he was driving from there straight to Lagos while I was going to go defend my positions at the Ohanese meeting called by Chief Iwanyang. And I got in there and I asked them 3 questions. I said, what is the problem? They said, no, what are you doing this? You're trying to deceive him. You're taking him to a party without any structure. And I said, put a structure. Structure, I'm not a human being. I have human beings. Allow me, please. Since you have now 3 contestants in wrestling ring, and our son is one of the 3, allow us to see his hand before you start saying, no, you must endorse PDP. A lot of them came that day to endorse PDP. Take it from me, and I have their names. I still remember them. My memory is still intact. So when they couldn't get their way, oh, God will bless Zozichukwu. God will bless him. He stood up and said, no, this is right. Allow the young man to have his blah, blah, blah. Test him. Leave him. Then Chief Nwodo stood up and said, leave this thing. If after 3 months we'll come back here, and then we'll see how they're faring, then we can decide. But don't just rule him out. That was how Chief Iwanyang, who was the chairman of the meeting, allowed it. We went. And as we went away, the next month was Christmas. It was hell. I was traveling from town to town. By that time, Peter had become like a wildfire everywhere. So as we came back from the home for Christmas, nobody could talk anymore. Leaders were now resigning. Leaders were changing car. People, that time the youth have taken the campaign. We weren't even spending money. Youth were spending their own money, organizing on their own. But right now, you see, we have time. That's why I tell you, we have options. We have parties that already have structures everywhere. Let me tell you, the PDP, by November, will have new leadership. The governors will then take control of the PDP. What Damago is saying, that we can come there. For me, I believe everything Wike is doing will end by November. Once they go there, the governors will take charge of the PDP.
Are you sure Wike will give up? You know, Wike's work, it's not only to perhaps.
Don't listen. Just allow. Okay, I want to tell you, allow this. Just think about tomorrow. There are several parties. There are several things with platforms. So we have options. You know, the ADC is not the game, but we must continue to talk to both the ADC and other people and keep going to attending meetings. But if they miss it, we will walk away.
Okay. All right, sir.
We will walk away.
All right, sir. Please, very quickly, if you can help me speak to some of the things on the front burner this evening. Vice President Kashim Shettima, for instance, has said that he was villainized during President Goodluck Jonathan's administration, and he was almost removed as the governor of the state. He was narrating that ordeal today, and very retrospectively, and he pain and well. I'd like you to speak to that. What would you say about his treatment during Jonathan's administration?
Shettima, I remember Shettima for the schoolgirls kidnappings.
And then Dr. Katz. And then Dr. Katz, there was something too that
forget
Baba
all
Ahmed.
Those stories.
I was going to tell you that there was something that Baba Ahmed said when he was on Trust TV the other time. He said that there was something that Shettima did, that thing, anybody who does that kind of thing should not even work with the president, but that he knows something he will not say.
God will bless you. So that's what I'm telling you now. What he was trying to tell you is, look, Shettima is a different kind of person. And probably that's what Tinubu has seen, and that's why Tinubu has kept him as arm's length. You know, for me, I don't know Shettima very well, but his claim to fame, as far as I'm concerned, when I knew him, was during the case of the kidnapping of the Chibok girls. That's all. That's all I remember for. You know, now that we hear people saying, no, it was a fluke, you just done to undermine good luck. Whatever it was, it's in the past. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if we have to now use violence as a strategy to gain power, when you gain that power, that violence will also be there for you. So now that they are violently rubbishing Shettima in the Tinubu administration, all I will just tell you is, no matter how bad you do to people, bad things will be in front for you. So I don't want to start commenting on Shettima's issues. What I want to tell him is, my only remembrance of him and his claim to fame, for all I can remember, was the kidnapping of the Chibok girls. That was when I knew him. That was when I heard about him. I didn't, because some governors, if you do very well, someone like Zulum does well, so I could take a look at Zulum and I see what people are saying. Governors like, okay, fine, Uzodinma has now, given infrastructure on a scale that is better than all the governors who had come before him. Those are the kind of, like Governor Pabi, what he did on infrastructure, that was a march. Those are the things I noticed. Once you do something, even Tinubu's fantastic behavior on improving the IGR of Lagos, that I took notice of. Once a leader does something great, I notice him for it. I remember Tinubu for IGR in Lagos. I remember Shettima, for the kidnapping of Chibok girls. I remember Fabio for the uncommon transformation of Akwa Ibom State in terms of infrastructure. I also now remember Hope Uzodinma for now ranking on the same scale as Sam Mbakwe when it comes to infrastructure. These are the things I remember. I also remember now the gas. One thing that is on my mind is the gas, the Asa North gas pipeline. It's a great thing to have Africa's largest deposit open to commercial success in Imo. Those are the things I remember. I also now remember the second bridge, and I thank President Goodluck Jonathan for awarding that bridge, and Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala and the Sovereign Wealth Fund for paying money ahead for it to start. Do you know that if that bridge hadn't started when Buhari came, Buhari would never have allowed it? After Buhari stopped the bridge and did an audit of the bridge for 82 years, but he didn't find anything, he allowed it to go on. And I thank him for not stopping it the way he found the Lagos Metro line. For that, I thank Buhari for not cancelling it. But I thank Goodluck Jonathan for not only giving the East the international gateway in Enugu, but also starting and paying a down payment for the second Niger bridge. I thank good luck every day. I take these notices. Another thing I'm noticing today now is the instruction by Tinubu. See, I like Tinubu's removal of subsidy. What I don't like is the way it was implemented. So I take notice of leaders when they do great things and when they do these things. This is what I do. This is what I also like Kwankwaso for the way he became the largest single customer to Igbinedion University by sending houses to school. I take notice of this kind of things.
All right, sir.
Do.
Okay, sir. So today, again, another thing on the front burner today, the Supreme Court gave judgment on the Edo State election. And of course, Okpabilo won, but Iodalo is saying that the Supreme Court robbed him of that election and that they betrayed him. Would you like to react to that, sir?
Betrayed him?
Yes, sir.
Well, how I will tell him is, during the period of state capture, you should forget it. The judiciary, as Odinkale has been saying, I believe Odinkalo, Chidi is my brother, my friend, and what Chidi says is true. And I like him. Just as you see me has picked on the insecurity, and I've been on it now for over 12 years. That's why you see me doing a full monologue on television. Everybody should pinpoint what he is good at and press it. So Odinkalo has been very good on the judiciary and exposing the things in it. I agree with him. I didn't expect it. So whatever it is they are saying, I consider this judiciary to be currently under a period of state capture, and that's what it is. So I don't expect anything.
So you're not surprised by the results. You're not surprised by the judgment.
How can I be surprised? If they could do what they did to Peter Obi and all that judgment on the glitch and so on, I've already lost hope. If Asua Igodala is looking for anything, any magical, that's not true. That's why I tell you, let elections be decided at the polling booth. Let us do electoral reforms and pinpoint transmission, make it legal to transmit.
So what will it take us to fight for this electoral reform? That's what many people they talk. What's in it go take us? Because honesty, you see the 10th assembly led by Akpabio, body language, like people will be say go implement electoral reform, knowing say the team will stop them from coming back to office. And if not, then what can we do to ensure that we have that electoral reform so that we can have an election that we can be proud of?
Well, looking for electoral reform, Buhari did electoral reform only when he was leading.
Yes.
That's what I can tell you. Only when he was leaving power. That's when he did those electoral reform that brought about the introduction of the beavers.
Yes.
And then the beavers. And that was why I said, the reason why we did the obedient movement, because we recognize that with the beavers implementation, we will now forcing people to be biometrically authenticated before they could be allowed to vote. It was that biometric authentication that foreclosed those phantom numbers that normally come from the north. That's the truth. So telling you all those fraudulent numbers inserted there are not true. So when you keep saying the north to the north, I say forget it. Do electoral reform. Allow us. We know how to win elections. We know how to do campaigns.
So how do we go about that? How do we go about the electoral reform? That's the greatest challenge we have now. And the possibility of it before the 2027 election.
Electoral reforms come only when you have honest leadership. National Assembly should champion this. Even if they do it, will Tinubu agree to sign? Because a lot of them are simply reforms. You could be doing reforms that will be tightening the news on the ability of the incumbent party in elections voted for. That's what you're talking. So they wouldn't do that. If you do that, they probably will not win a lot of the places they're winning. That's why you see the governors not crossing, because governors are afraid. You see, most governors are afraid that with the absence of electoral reforms, that they're very likely to lose their states. So that's why I'm also saying that if we actually want, if there were electoral reforms, governors won't be crossing anywhere because they're afraid. And see the people crossing, first-time governors, because they know they are due for re-election. So if they do not cross over to ruling party, they will suffer the same fate that other people have suffered. That's just the truth. Look at Soludo. Soludo is now talking more than even Okachukwu. He's more APC than Nicholas Okachukwu.
He said something, but before I tell you what he said, I know that you may want to react to that. Let's quickly touch on one of my guests here. One of our listeners asked. He said that what about Alex Otti? He didn't hear you mention that him as one of the governors that is performing or not performing.
Alex Otti is doing very well. Alex Otti is fantastic well. Alex is somebody who was very prepared. Don't forget, Alex has won elections before, but of course, Alex was outdone by the same fraudulent electoral issue. But in the bandwagon stampede of the obedient movement, Abba is like Onisha. You cannot reverse those things. Alex won, and then thanks to the professor who refused to bend, she announced it proper. You know, I think Alex is doing fantastically well. But he also has his way. If you check, he's not talking any too harsh. He's just being gentle. He's being polite.
Yes,
he's respectful
and
towards
acting
the
like president's friend, and saying that the president is doing well because he don't want to talk too hard.
Exactly. Now you know
so it's all politics, so that make I not talk, make they not come at me.
These are protocols for survival.
But why does it have to be that way, though? Have we ever experienced this in any presidential administration before in this country? A situation where governors are scared of their second term because of a president. Has it happened before? Did it happen under Buhari's administration? Did it happen under Obasanjo's administration?
No, it did not happen.
So why is this going on?
Remember, during your good, Tinubu was able to assemble forensic experts under Justice Salami. He was able to win back some states. You can't do that now, because no matter what you say, the judge will foreclose and will just tell you your stories. That's just like they told us at the court when we went to query the glitch. They say, yeah, we tried, we brought, but our thing is not enough. What are you going to argue with them? They are the ones who are the judges. You know, just like you saw, the former Russian dictator said that those who determine what happens are not those who vote. They're the ones who can vote. So in this case, if we now, you see, that's why I say the CPC faction are actually the people who supervise the state capture. So that state capture they supervise, and then show the president to Tinubu. Tinubu now uses it that they don't see them campaigning. So if they want to fix this thing, they have to understand, as I'm telling them now, I'm telling the country, they must pay a price. Concede the presidencies to the South. Concede the presidencies to the South. Concede that.
And the South has to be Peter Obi, not Amaechi or anyone else.
Amaechi cannot gain any vote in the South now. Amaechi that did a single gauge train, and he didn't put anyone in Eastern Nigeria where he's from. He sent train to Maradi.
No, there is a train. No, he did a train from Port Harcourt to Aba, and he was supposed to go from Port Harcourt to Aba. In fact, that train was supposed to be from Port Harcourt to Aba to Enugu and then to the north. But this administration is supposed to complete it now, but they haven't.
He didn't do anything.
He completed, he said though on TV that he completed the one from Port Harcourt to Aba, and it's functional. Oh dear. I don't know if I've lost Dr. Catch, but let me jump in on this caller. Hello, good evening and welcome.
The East wanted.
Sir.
The East wanted the standard gauge that Amaechi was also building in northern Nigeria.
Okay, all right. Let me quickly respond to this caller. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Do you have a question for Dr. Catch? Hurry up, please. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I want to know how, because if obedient movement is just all about maybe getting enough Nigerians to be sensitized to know that, yes, they have to make sure that, okay, they take back their country and all those things. But at the end of the day, the obedient movement is not maybe centered thinking maybe out of the box in terms of maybe electoral reform, because the probability of electoral reform will not work. What is the plan B maybe to make sure that there is obedient movement in our polling unit? Because there is something I'm thinking about, but meeting people like Dr. Catch I know it will be very difficult because one, to even get his contact and other things is very difficult. But there's something we have to do maybe before January, or if there's something that they're already working on towards that direction, then it's good. Maybe he doesn't want to say it here publicly.
That is in terms of ensuring that there is enough polling unit agents across Nigeria. Are you talking about in terms of, Daniel, are you saying in terms of having enough polling unit agents across Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay.
In all the polling units, if virtually almost all, at least 90.
Okay, all right.
90%.
So that waiting happen for 1877 no go repeat himself.
Will not happen. We'll have video evidence and we'll have picture evidence.
Okay, all right, thank you. Dr. Katch, would you like to react to that, sir?
If there's something about it.
I confess the fact that we started only 8 months to election during the last period, we were angry. We were angry because we felt disappointed. We didn't plan it. I confess to Nigerians, we never planned it. I just got angry when I saw the way everything was being manipulated. And I said, how can me, every day I'm on TV doing this, I never left the party. Since Goodluck was removed from power, I stayed. Atiku went to APC, came back. And yet, we gave him ticket. I went round. Now it's our turn. And he won't. Why? I said, no, I can do something. And that's when I started campaigning. I thought, his 60th birthday, we finished, and he said, Kachi, what do we do? I said, listen, we're not getting younger. Let us do Southern president. If it doesn't work, posterity, we tried. But we started doing it. They say we don't have candidates. Well, as God will have it, I work with other people, and I thank those leaders who put pressure on Peter to listen, and then Peter agreed.
So how can we ensure that we protect those votes in terms of...
Let me finish. When that happened, we were constrained by time. Even though the youth came out, and that's what I'm telling you, it wasn't organized. I did this out of anger. So when we now follow that, and then the youth came to support us, and then after we did what we did, and I'm very happy, I'm grateful to Nigerian youth, I'm grateful for Nigerians who supported us, I'm very happy to those who spent their money to make sure what we did were well, and I thank them till tomorrow. I thank most especially Peter Obi who agreed to run. I thank the Labour Party who gave us a platform. I don't have anything against them. So what we didn't have was the strength of characters to be posted to every booth to hold this. Even where we had it, the government cancelled and wrote new results. Look at what happened in Lagos. Our people were voting, MCO no more, his people were beating them up. Look at the level of voter suppression in Lagos. When they couldn't do voter suppression, they now started doing number suppression. They had
so what is the plan now ahead of time? What is the plan ahead of time to ensure that same thing does not repeat itself again?
The plan ahead of time is that what we did from 7 months to election. Now we are starting on time. When we start on time, we will get more people. When we get more people, we'll put our heads. We have a lot of things we're not going to confess to the crowd yet.
Okay.
But we're playing. Okay. All I am just playing now is to zoom in the message to get the coalition to understand that if you don't give us that ticket, we will walk. We're not going to do all these things we've done only to come and promote an 80-year-old man who will be sleeping and won't be available to govern. And take that from me. I'm not going to promote any Paul Biya as president. I will not make that mistake. I will not make that mistake.
You never reach for Biya side, but make I take this call. I'm coming back to ask you more questions. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Precious. Good evening, Dr. Katch.
Is this T.Y. Danjuma? T.Y. Danjuma, welcome. Go ahead, please. Dr. Katch can hear you.
First of all, Doctor, we have to commend you for all the efforts that you have made and you're still making, to move this country forward. And I think that if every one of us, just like you mentioned, to the obedience are doing, if all of us, add, to, a little bit more to what you have done or, what others are doing, I think our country will be better for it. But there are a few issues that I just want you to react to.
And I be say, for instance, it's too, for me, it's too early to prognosticate what's going to happen in 2027. I, 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 I feel, and I want to ask you, don't you think that for now, the coalition should be concentrating more in building up that alliance than, bickering over who is going to be president or vice president and so on and so forth. Because the scenarios are not quite clear. There are so many imponderables that we don't know yet. For instance, I'll give you an example, and then when I finish, I'd like you to react. Supposing PDP puts its parts together, and maybe they feel the candidate, I'm supposing now, put up a candidate like Sheyi Makinde. Okay, and then Kwankwaso, for instance, we are not certain what's going to happen if he's going to remain in NMPP
or join the president.
Presidency. We don't know what the candidate, what ADC would come up to. And then there's the middle belt question. Let's look at the killings and so on and so forth. What's going to be their attitude to, what would their political leanings be right now? And then you look at the question, if at all there's a question, and then look at the performance of APC, the economy, security, and so on. And then, of course, also we don't know what's going to happen with LP. Now, when you put all those scenarios together, I'm thinking that if Makinde runs, for instance, assuming that the failed Makinde PDP fails Makinde, then you have the votes of the West is going to be split. And then in the South. And then, I don't know, I can't speak of Kwankwaso, but whichever, if he's going to run under NMPP, we're going to have a vote split. And then, for instance, the candidate of, ABC, takes Atiku, for example, to run. Obi pulls out, which is very likely, and then he runs. I'm thinking that it's not going to be a straight win for Ashwaji.
Okay.
Yes. What do you think? I don't know if that I agree with you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, T.Y. Danjuman. Go ahead and respond, sir.
Everything you have said sounds like somebody trying to cook pepper put in Tinubu's eyes. Because if Makinde runs, that further undermines Tinubu's base. As for Kwankwaso, we know Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso is a known quantity. Kwankwaso's strength is concentrated around Kanu. But the reasons why Peter sent me to him during that last time was because we believed that the ethnic cleansing actions were killing Hausas in Katsina, Zamfara, and Sokoto. If Kwankwaso comes, we felt Hausas were people that needed savior, and that was why we thought. But then he told me no. He was telling me this, that. He was a commissioner, he was a minister, he was a House of Rep, he was senator, he was this, that. Why should I not bring somebody? I told him today is what we're talking about, popularity. I went to his house. I sat in his house off Katsina Crescent in my time. So after that, and I left. If it's Makinde, that's not an issue. That won't affect us. That will only split Tinubu's base. That's not an issue. I don't have anything. We already have our catchment. Peter Obi is the new Buhari plus. That you say you have vote in the bank. We have the youth in the bank with us. We have preached enough to the youth for the youth to understand that Peter will emplace a new Nigeria. Peter seeks to bring a new Nigeria. But then it doesn't mean that Peter will have it free. Of course, there are even Igbos who will be against Peter. Igbos who have been paid, as you rightly appointed, just like Kenneth has done. You have what he said. He will never support anybody from. Why? He's been paid to, and once someone is paid and his tongue is owned by those who bring money, we discount those people. So if Kwankwaso runs, if Makinde runs, that will not disturb us. Because those people are people we know what they can do. If Makinde runs, that's good. That will further split Tinubu's base. Kwankwaso runs, that is good. Kwankwaso ran the last time, and Kwankwaso held his area with NMPP, and he won the state. And if you saw, his strengths were mostly in that hand. But my thoughts were that Kwankwaso's strength should have extended to Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, and everywhere where you have garrisons and warehouses do exist. I give it to him. He's a champion for the Hausa cause. So I am not worried about those things. What we do is we started this thing 8 months before the last elections. We have tested the ground. We saw how good we've done. The people in power know how good Peter is. That's why you see everybody is talking about Peter. Who do you think is talking about any other person? Nobody's talking about Peter. So that's why I tell you, any tree you see children gather, everybody is studying that tree. There are a lot of good, beautiful fruits from that tree.
Okay, so to answer his question, you're saying that even if Seyi Makinde and Kwankwaso contest, that it will not affect Peter Obi's vote.
That would be better for us.
But how about if Kwankwaso joins Tinubu as his VP, which is possible because with the hearsay and waiting make Ganduje resign? How about if that happens? Well, understanding the overwhelming support where Ganduje where Kwankwaso get for Kanu.
Oh, I can tell you something that I believe will happen during the election. The election will likely be a two-horse race.
Even if, are you saying that even if Obi does not get the coalition ticket, it will still be a two-horse race?
In the election, it will be between Obi and Tinubu. Go and mark it down.
Are you certain of that?
Listen,
so how about if coalition picks Atiku Abubakar? What would happen? Atiku will drop when Obi joins another party. If coalition picks Atiku Abubakar from their primaries as their candidate.
Yeah, that is, if they pick Atiku, there's nothing right. That just means that the coalition was only, and why wouldn't you pick Atiku? If Atiku organized this coalition, paid money to Wosu, to Raf, to buy the platform, those platforms that, plant the pillars. So that's why I think we are not totally boxed out. What Peter is doing with them is let people not say that Peter refused to join a coalition to bring good governance.
Oh, okay. So he just did there to fulfill all righteousness. Make it not be saying and him say, go come join together with others to fight for the country.
Exactly. That's why Peter is there.
So that is the bonus. That is even. Now you talk one way enter my head. So it's not like he's actually there because
that is his strategy. No.
Okay.
That's why you see him when they asked him on channels last week. He said that he is there. That the coalition is a prospective vehicle for 2027 if terms are agreed. I reform my words. The coalition is something being talked about of what can be used for 2027. But for now, he will run on Labour Party.
All right.
So let nobody think that they have tricked and entrapped him to come, they use him to do their whatever. We are not going to do all these things we've been doing just to put Paul Biya as a candidate. It will not happen.
Then Dr. Catch, see, there is something that somebody just reminded me that because somebody just tweeted and I posted a message now. And you know that because of what is happening, the last time that you people went to the tribunal for Peter Obi's case, one of the major problems was that there was not enough evidence to prove that in those polling units, those cancellations and all that were in favor of Peter Obi, or those cancelled votes were in favor of Peter Obi. So people they talk, say, waiting be the thing on a one do now to make sure, say, on a guard on a polling unit agents them. Maybe body cameras, anything, any kind of thing we go make sure say they capture.
We are not going to reveal our.
Sorry, sir.
We will not reveal our strategies.
Oh, okay. That means strategy day. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, there are strategies. If the judges are bent of dismissing your case, no matter the quantum of evidence you bring, they'll still tell you the same thing. What would you do?
All right.
What would you do?
All right.
Forget those issues. That's why I'm telling you that the most dangerous thing that you can do under state capture, as we are presently are, is to think that you can change a man who has already been purposed and compromised to do things against the law. That's why I tell you, I like what Chidi Odinkalo has been doing. I follow him well. If you come to the Fulani insurgency. I don't think anybody knows him more than I've done in this country. I know him well. And
all right.
Concentrate on the things I know well. So, Odinkalu is an expert when it comes to exposing what the lawyers have done. Everything he said is true. That the judiciary is currently compromised. And that's the truth. INEC and judiciary undermine the election.
All right.
INEC even goes on to repudiate its own internal laws. You heard what Dr. Sam Amadi said. I agree with Dr. Amadi. I agree with Chido Denkalo. I agree with D.Y. Danjuma when it comes to issues of collusion between the security services and the militiamen who are killing. I agree with what nothing I'm saying is new. All I'm simply doing is highlighting what other leaders have said before.
All right, sir.
Nothing from my mouth.
We have somebody on the line. Let's quickly take some calls so that they'll ask you some questions. I'm sorry for taking your time, but you promised us you do a part 2 because this one that we did not see your face, is not fitting us.
Part 3, don't worry. I will do everything. I'll make it up for you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, welcome. Yes, I'm very well, thank you. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Just go ahead with your question.
My name is Yodi.
Yodi, you're welcome.
I remember.
DJ Yodi, I remember you.
Yes. I don't have a question. It's doctor I wanted to talk with. Doctor.
You're talking to him. He's on the line. Go ahead and ask him questions.
I'm listening, my brother.
I want doctor to know that there are some of us who know him way back in the days till today. Yes, some of us know him way back in the days, and I want to recommend him for his uprightness, his job well done. I've been following him for a long time. He doesn't know me. I live in England. I've been following him for a long time. He's a very, very, very upright person. He knows his onions. He has come a long way with Peter Obi, like he said.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kat. You heard that. Oh, dear, sorry, I caught you. I'm so sorry.
God bless you.
Dr. Kat, you heard that. I'm blushing on your behalf. Good evening. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you very much.
Please help me turn up the volume of that your device, please. There's a whole back. I can hear you. Help me turn up the volume of your listening device, please. All right, go ahead, please. What's your name? Oh, dear. I said turn off the volume now. I didn't say quench it finally. Turn off volume is different from quenching now. Sorry, no vex. Hello, good evening and welcome. Oh, dear. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, hello, precious.
Sir? Go ahead, Mr.
Is the doctor still online? Yeah?
Sorry?
I want a question to the doctor.
Okay, go ahead. He can hear you.
Yes. It goes like this. Is there anything, maybe it might sound a little bit somehow, but concerning Reno Omokri, the venom and the hatred that he has against the Igbos, especially, is there a way, because it seems that Peter will be a kind of kept quiet with all these things, not to respond to him, to whatever that, because majority of the things that he is saying is absolutely lies and lies. Is there anything, any way they are trying to, maybe a court case or something to stop him spreading these dangerous lies, mainly against the Igbos? Then another one is this, going into this coalition, I know that Peter Obi wanted to do the first 4 years, and that first 4 years, or that 4 years that he said he has to change so many things. Is there any way that he can now see it that is not going to work and start pulling out immediately? Because what Atiku said in one of his interviews, that the North doesn't need the Southeast and don't need the Southwest. The North wants somebody from the North. And he is the one. Because to me, that is a no-go area. It means that there is a kind of, I don't want to call it what my mind is telling me to call it that it is. So is there anything that, they are planning or they are doing? He said that there are so many things that is going on. It's not something that he can say here on the phone now, on the radio now, or yeah. So that's my question to him.
Okay, Dr. Kash, I don't know if you heard that.
Yes.
So the first question is this the marketing of Peter Obi and the Igbo by Reno mockery. What can be done about it? Because that's what I told you about initially. I mentioned some sort of deliberate demarketing. So is there anything that is being done about it?
Well, you need to understand Reno mockery's issue about the Igbo takes from the time of the creation of Delta State. And he is from one of those tribes who were very angry when Babangida made Asaba capital of Delta State. Most people felt the Igbos weren't called Delta as he called them. But I believe it was Babangida's wife, plus some pleadings due to the crisis in Warri between the Zone and all those other tribes, Shekiri, Zone, and all that problem. So when finally Babangida announced Asaba, people turned it against Igbo, started blaming Igbo. So Reno is one of those things. He's an insignificant person. I don't take him seriously.
But whether we like it or not, as insignificant as he can be, he's making... Now, there's something... Well, maybe we'll talk about that later on off camera. Because there's something about immediate damage to somebody's reputation. It sticks. And the media, if there's no formidable rebuttal, it sticks. And it will be remembered in years to come.
I understand, but also take it from me now.
Okay, sir.
That it's not good we start saying on the open media.
Okay.
Leave him, let him continue. Right. Whatever will come to him, I don't know. I might say something now, tomorrow somebody take him down and they say he says something. So I don't want to. All I have to tell you is leave him to his God. He's just a small-minded person, and whatever it is, he has an anti-Igbo issue. It's not a P2B issue. And that is anti-Igbo issue dates from the time of Babangida's creation of Delta State and the making of Asaba as capital. Reno is one of those who felt that the Igbos kind of took what he thought should have come to his own side of the country. And he didn't know how to stop it. He's not the only one, no. He's not the only one. There are plenty of them in that mindset. That's why you saw when Delta North said they will now go as a state, they were very happy saying, "We're gonna go." So these things have been there. Right. The Igbos cannot apologize to anybody for who we are. We can't apologize to anybody for our resilience, our competitive capabilities, and the way God has made us irrepressible. But I just want to tell everybody, Igbos love a level playing field. Igbos don't want to be dashed. Igbos don't want pain through nepotism. No. Igbos want a flat platform where everybody will compete based on an equitable ground.
All right, thank you.
Where everything is available to all. That's why you see we are market people. We believe very much in the market. And because of our embrace of market, today we dominate direct domestic investment. And we have also dominated Nigeria in wealth distribution. It's only in Igbo land you see every village, everybody has millionaires. You don't just go to one place and only one person. No. We will continue to get successful, and we thank God for making us who we are. So if people like Reno are going to kill themselves because of our success, that's their business. Right. So that's something we have that people don't have. And I'm not going to kill myself because of how God created me. Right. But I'm in Nigeria.
All right. Hello, good evening and welcome. Please, okay, so you know what I would do? I'll just take like 2, 3, 4 questions at a time so that I can respond to all of them instead of us to be taking them one at a time. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Precious.
Sir?
Yeah, my name is Chicks from United Kingdom.
You're welcome. Go ahead. Very quickly.
I wanted to ask your guest, why are they running away from electoral reform? You see, we can talk all the talk we can talk. Without electoral reform, let us forget about all these things we are saying. The likes of Obi and Atiku, their main job should be leading the people to go to National Assembly and say, give us electoral reform. Because I believe If the likes of Obi, Atiku, and all these people calling themselves ADC or whatever they call themselves, if they use that kind of might that they hope to use, during the time of 2027, let them use it now and go to National Assembly and tell them, we saw what happened in Edo today. Until we make INEC to prove that the election they did is worthy, there's nothing anybody can do. This is Nigeria. And I don't know why men who have conscience, men who have everything to do this job, refuses to do it. And gallivanting all around. All this jumping from one political parties to the other will not help anybody until INEC stands the person to prove that the election they conducted is worthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Electoral reforms. I think you also attended, addressed that question partially, but I would let you also address it again, and then let's just take a few more reactions so that you address all of them at the same time. Okay. Somebody here mentioned about the NEL fund that President Bola Tinubu said they've done. That is mostly Yoruba students that are beneficiaries of the NEL fund. But let me take this call. Hello, good evening.
That's exactly what I told you. Let them publish it. I told you that now. I told you.
Publish the beneficiaries of NEL fund, right? Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, welcome.
My name is Gloria. I'm calling from Canada.
Gloria, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to give kudos to the gentleman talking because you see, the point is that a lot of people are educated in Nigeria, but when they come to national TV, what comes out of their mouth becomes like a poison. You even wonder if they've ever seen the four walls of school. We're all fighting for our nation to be better, not for ourselves for now, but for the generation that are coming.
Absolutely.
Because if we don't fight now, the generation coming will not have a place called Nigeria. Even the people doing the wrong thing will not be there to say they are sorry. So a lot of people that you're looking up to, like Reno, is it Leno? I don't know his second name. That man is just, he say he went to school. He's just I'm sorry to use this language, I think he's just a political prostitute. Because if you go to his right, he virtually goes on every platform to talk about anybody that is, he wants at that time. And yesterday he was asked, what's your business? What's your occupation? What do you do? He could not answer that question.
He answered.
So
he said he makes money, even while sleeping from his social media accounts.
From where? Oh, how much? That will make him to fly from California just to come to national TV and talk about Peter Obi? Oh, come on. We are not fools.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Let me speak to someone else. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello.
Sir?
Precious, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Remind me your name, sir, and where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is Tim. I'm calling from Washington, D.C.
You're welcome. Go ahead, please.
And I have a question for Dr. Kachi.
Go ahead.
When I look at Atiku is not all that popular. Let me take you back to the APC primary. When Buhari, Kwakwanso, and Atiku slug it out. Atiku was number 3. Kwakwanso flooded Atiku. It was the vote of Southwest and the vote of some of the Northwest that make Buhari the person that won that primary. Atiku was way back. Now, I remember during the PDP primary, before the primary, then after the primary, I'm talking about this 2023. Atiku was saying, and that was a lie, that if
to the southeast, then he's gonna pull out. Now, Buhari have done 8 years. You've done 8 years. You protested that Jonathan didn't give enough. The same thing that made you to go back to APC. Now is the time for you to prove that you really want the presidency, you really want the South to finish up the remaining 4 years. And now you're bankrolling the ADC, you're bankrolling, you got all your guys, David Mark, and the guy from Oshu. These are Atiku boys. We know that. So, I really agree in what Dr. Kachi said. If they give that Atiku, let Obi go to Labour Party and contest. Let's spoil it. And all of us, we vote for Tinubu. Let's spoil it. Just to make a mark that if it is good for you guys to take 80 years, it is also good for the staff to take 80 years. He will be ashamed of himself. He's a very greedy, don't want to be a statement. And that's the play we're going to do. That's all I'm saying. I'm so sick and tired of that guy. What else is he looking for? What else? At his age, you can even look at him. Okay? That guy doesn't have a life. And he thinks he can backroll everybody and take over. He's not going to do it. We are watching him. That game he's trying to play is not going to work. If you look at last election, you already got Northeast. We got Southeast, South, Middle Belt. Okay? And they get him on to I don't know, 35%. He got that. So what do you think? He's not a diction. No, he claiming to be a diction. No. He cannot win the election. And we're going to teach him a lesson.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Precious.
Yes, please, welcome. Remind me your name, where you're calling from. Please help me turn off your listening device. Oh dear, hello.
Hello, Precious.
Yes, please, go ahead. Go ahead very quickly, please, because our guest needs to go. Yes.
I have only 2 things to say about this, and I thank you so much for bringing Dr. Kachi here, because it's been a very wonderful insight.
Thank you.
The 2 things I have a question again, to which a lot of people have actually said about it, but I want to point something out. I am an unrepentant obedient and unwavering obedience, just like him. But we have to face the reality here. We know that today, if you put election tomorrow, with or without any party, if that is allowed, I strongly believe that Obi wins, regardless of who is competing with him. But the fact remains that the way Nigeria is today, you can't win an election when the system is like this. We all know how the system is. So please, what I'm pleading with him, those of them that are working from the inside, they should not lose the sight of electoral reform. A lot of people will be demoralized if election is called up under the same platform we did 2023. The only way people will be energized to come and do what they can do for Obi in support of new government, credible government, is that there's hope that their vote will be counted. Without which, I can tell you that even somebody like me wouldn't be bringing myself. I have a platform that has over 500 people in China. I think I told you before. We have done a lot. We are just waiting. But what I'm begging them is this electoral reform should be the first thing we should be talking about every day, morning, afternoon, night.
So thank you. Thank you so much. Let me let Dr. Katch react to that, and very quickly after this call. Hello, good evening. Kindly make it, be quick with it. Hello. Oh dear. Okay. So Dr. Katch, there's been this call of electoral reform and all that, and in my own little opinion, I have said that it is almost impossible for the Akpabio-led Senate to consent to any genuine constructive reform that would better our electoral system, because nobody go open eye implement or effect a law we go affect them in future. But let me let you answer them, because it's been like a clamor. Everybody just did particular about electoral reform. So let me let you address all of the questions you've asked, sir.
I thank them for saying the same thing. I'm happy that I spoke about it severally to you. I even did a program this morning on a different television channel, and we're talking about the electoral reform. I have said it. And let me confess, as I said earlier, electoral reforms are what we need. INEC that made laws and said this is what it will do. This is how INEC itself was not compromised to even go against their own laws, as Dr. Sam Ahmadi stated. This is a problem. It's not just electoral reform. What if you even do the electoral reform and then you have corrupt judges? This is the country right now, as I told you, is under state capture. I told you before. What made me, when Peter said what, I say we can run, we can win. He said what? I looked at the electoral reform. I understand the country. I know the notes. So once I saw that in the Beavers protocol, there was a need for a biometric authentication of voters before they could be allowed to vote. That was how the bulk or the phantom numbers you saw about the North went away. We know about this. I was working in my head about the correlation between school enrollment and population density. And this is how we went on. And through, our games worked. We won the election. But no, they stopped it, cancelled it, and told us, we said, why? They said the glitch. We said, what glitch? We called Amazon. Amazon said there's no glitch, everything was going well. They said, no, it's glitch. What they did was simply, they switch off the computer, they don't want the computer, then they wrote something on longhand. And because they control the army, they control the police, they control the DSS, they control INEC, and they are at the presidency. Don't forget, these people went to the same extent to try not to do election. When we did the first inter-party debate organized by this day, Arise, I asked a question at the Hilton, because when it got to asking question, I, being Peter Obi, Special Advisor on Public Affairs, for Special Advisor on Public Affairs of Atiku was his name, Dino Melaye. Special Advisor Public Affairs for Tinubu was the lawyer Keyamu. I asked that what have we done when the incumbent government even tried to engineer a coup? Buhari traveled to a foreign country on no story, no mission at all, to give them chance to overthrow government because they didn't want to go to election. And when Buhari then tried to deny it, foreign embassy, the German consulate, the US consulate, the British, and I think yes, the German, the British, they were ordered 2 orders that said no and took them to where arms were stockpiled at the Trademore Estate along the airport road on Abuja. The government then kept quiet. And then, so what I'm trying to tell you is the government, when they don't want to respect the laws, they will do like what they did. Even though we do electoral reform, but it makes sense we do electoral reforms. What do I say that? Put it now in law that all results must be transmitted. That all in the result, remember, even when the results were transmitted, they started modeling the thing out. They said, no, they won't even take transmitted results. So it's an issue of state capture. And the same people you see now who have come in this ADC, the CPC faction, are actually the people who did it. Yes, they did it.
So wait, now the Buhari faction of the APC, now them do this glitch will happen now.
Now them with their power, now who is their power? Oh. What can we do? Because they were in power, they did this thing, it was Buhari's government, yes. All Tinubu was to do was to bring money. And the Buhari government looked the other way, whereas thugs like Oluomo and others in Lagos were committing presently voter suppression. How could you? Buhari's government kept quiet, looked the other way. They were the people controlling the army, the police, and everything.
At that time, Tinubu wasn't in government, so that means Buhari would have actually done something about it. So that means he perhaps was in cahoots, but he was with his consent. that all those things happen. Is that what you're saying, sir?
Not his court, it was him, it was his administration. So that they have now come and say they want to now work with us. As this political party is like a church. You don't discriminate. You take sense, you take the good, take the badly. But our condition to them is it was them still the same gang that were giving Atiku the confidence to be cocky. That's why you saw his fight with Wiki. Because they don't worry, we're the one who give you. KKN is about power. Nobody else will get power. Now you will give. And Atiku was just cocky. And what happened? You saw what happened. When we went to election, we blew them. We took Lagos. Tinubu or Atiku, none of them got up to 25% in Lagos. But then you saw the waggle, they wrote it, they come, they beat you up. Our people to go there, they beat them up mercilessly. This is state capture perpetrated by elements of the Buhari administration.
So, well, since you already said that there is a plan B that cannot be talked about on air, because I'm going to ask, since it's already obvious to you that it's a state
when
capture,
that time comes, we show them.
Oh, okay, I surrender. Then somebody did mention, I think somebody more or less lamented about Atiku's case. Would you like to react to that, sir?
Atiku's case is a natural case. Atiku became a Nigerian in 1961. Atiku was born in German Cameroon. When the Germans lost the Second World War, the Cameroon was taken and shared amongst the French and the Germans. When the French did the plebiscite, that was when Atiku became a Nigerian. But you see, Atiku is just not understanding. That's why I said in nation building, why does this man not understand Nigeria? Why does he want to destroy Nigeria? It was him when he left from MPDP, went in and brought in Buhari, the good luck was removed. It was him that after Buhari did 8 years, took money, compromised the PDP, Amaechi said he wouldn't agree, the opposition died. For me, Atiku has been the most negative influence our democracy have seen.
Okay,
and so as far as he's concerned, he knows how to dollarize primaries.
So there is a question about the primaries here, and somebody is asking that, is there the possibility of Atiku, what's that question now? He didn't state his name, but let me see. He's from Spain. It says, Precious, how about let elderly people like Farutimi, Baba Obasanjo meet with AACs or more Electoral if really he has something good in mind to Nigeria. And after they win the election in 2027, Shawore will be the EFCC chairman so that Nigeria will really be good. Something like that, you know. And he said Patutomi should also be part of that meeting.
Those are just projections. You know, all of us will come together to remake Nigeria and sort it properly.
But Shawore has insisted that he's not going to work with any of you because people are the same old.
Yeah, but you need to ask yourself, who is Shawore? Is Shawore a politician? Or does Shawore has a different game to be inside the agenda? I read a lot about Shawore from the works of David Hundeyin. So, as far as Shawore has not come to disprove David Hundeyin, I will hold what Hundeyin said, because David is somebody that I really trust his works. And I am like David Hundeyin. I do my work. I thoroughly research, just like when the killing started. I had to travel to Burkina Faso. I traveled to Mali. I went to Cameroon. I went to Southern African Republic. After I came back, and I went on television to tell Nigerians that there is nothing like farmers' headers crisis. That a database strategy, which I called demographic alteration scheme. Buhari then was asking for land to resettled Fulanis who were being removed from these countries like Burkina Faso and Mali. But he now asked for grazing reserve. We said no. At that time, I was working with current Senate President Akpabio. I told him everything. Akpabio's filibuster in the Senate, when he said no about the attempt to create the consolidation of underground and surface waters bill, was what caused him to be arrested on Tuesday. And then he told me, look at this. And before you knew it, for him to be at peace with them, he joined APC. That's the truth. Akpabio didn't join APC on his own. God is my person. It's my friend, and I know him well. I know this issue. So when I now went on TV to tell the country there is a plot to gain land to resettle Fulani refugees from West Africa. There are no Nigerians coming from Sokoto, Katsina, Kano, Zamfara, or anywhere seeking to be relocated to anywhere in the south. No, these were refugees displaced by the war in Burkina Faso and also in central Mali between the Dogons and the Fulanis. And what I felt was Buhari and other leaders should have put hands together to actually implement the 2015 peace agreement as it was agreed to in regards to the Mali crisis. No, Buhari was looking ways to bring them here and resettle them here. He was looking for land. He said grazing reserve, we say no. He said car colony, we said no. He said National Livestock Development Program, we said okay, let us come. Why is it work?
So are you aware that there is ranching program going on now, that about 11 states have voted to give lands for ranching? Are you aware?
Which states? Nobody, it's not true. Let me tell you that. It is wrong for Tinubu to seek to create new Zango Katafs. If you create Zango Kataf anywhere, you're going to have the same crisis that you have in Southern Kaduna. Why are you creating lands for Fulani refugees in places that are not their own? Once they are there, they will start creating kingdoms in that place, and the next they'll start expansion to try to take land off indigenous people. Tinubu should try to create land first. This thing he's talking about in Osun State, not in Lagos State. If it works, he can create it in the southwest. Let us do a test run. If it works in the southwest, then he can take it to the north, where the Kano government said they are willing to provide plenty of land. You see, the problem of these people, they are looking for land to resettle refugees. It is refugees that Buhari allowed in without visa that are now fighting for land. And when we refuse to give them land through the various legislative strategies like grazing route, we said no, that the grazing route was an old, law of the northern region. That northern region that time was one of the 4 states. Now there are 36 states. The laws of any state, when it clashes with the Constitution of Nigeria takes precedent. That's how we kill that one. He talked about the consolidation for the undergrounders. Everywhere they're looking for this thing now, they're looking for land with water. Looking for land with water. Because you can't put those people there in any place without water. If you put them anywhere without water, where the cattle can, they will go away. Anywhere you create this new reserve, this is going to be another Zango Kataf. Look at the crisis that has been created in Kaduna. Zango Kataf, when the soldiers did Zango Kataf, they also did Zango Ota. When Obasanjo looked at it, okay, agriculture, yes, Obasanjo took Zango Ota and put Obasanjo farms. That was how it was Zango Kataf and Gango Ota. Then those people now moved to Shagamu. Of course, worry the Ijebu, they let them settle in Shagamu. That's the truth. So if you're going to create another Zango Kataf across the country, calling them grazing reserve, for who? For who? Are you also going to create reserves for people who will be selling goods and people who are selling all these things that other people do? Why don't you create those things for other businesses that are already thriving in Nigeria? No, you want to create land for refugees. Then tomorrow, they start fighting with indigenous people. This is what you're looking at. Tinubu cannot create more Zango Kataf across the country and expect the peace. That's all I'm warning Nigerians.
Thank you so much, sir. It's been such a long day. I'd like you to give a final word to people who are perhaps almost losing confidence and trust even before the 2027 election as to which way the different candidates may tour. What's your final parting shot?
I want them not to lose hope in Nigeria because we now have a brand new generation that is very, very unlike any other thing. Nigeria's best educated generation, richest. This is the first time you've seen younger people who got richer than their parents in their lifetime. This is a different generation, and that's what we're working with. Between 19 and 45, Nigeria is home to the largest concentration of these young people. And that's why we think our optimism should stay. Despair is not an option. I believe Nigeria will get well. But first, we must be our brother's keeper. Understand that if Benue falls,
Southeast becomes vulnerable. So Igbos shouldn't keep quiet and think it's only the TV, the Idoma, the Igede, and Agatu will suffer because of the killings. No. If Benue falls, this is my parting word, the Southeast will become exposed. The Fulani war is real. Don't pretend it doesn't exist. It's real. And if they could keep quiet while the Tilis have been massacred during the Civil War, the Tilis were the largest ethnic group in the north.
But this one that you're talking about, the Fulanis, this one you're talking about Fulanis, did you see the video by Soludo, your brother, the other day? He said that 99.99% of the atrocities within at least Anambra State, that it is Umuaki Ibu that causes it. 99.99. He said both kidnapping. He said he also had this. He also had this propaganda of Fulani or any other person, but it's not true.
Soludo is now more APC than Nicholas. Ask him, was it Igbo that were perpetrating the unknown government sting operation that stopped the minute Buhari's administration stopped? It stopped. Those ones were perpetrated by Buhari's elements of Buhari's administration. Was it at the Lokpanta cattle market that Governor Alex went to close? Was it where he was there? So no, they're just trying to campaign so that the APC doesn't hurt him. So he will talk better than even APC people. That is Toludo's game. So leave him alone. He is campaigning for his election. He is not being factual. Ask him where Alex Oti went to close the Lok Panther cattle market at Umunochi side. Just hundreds of people that were seen in the mass grave. Was that done by Igbos? Do Igbos control that market? Forget Soludo, please. Okay. Forget him.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kachi. He said we can do this, a third leg.
We will do it every time. I'll be available to speak to your audience.
I like it. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. I'm excited. I'm almost jumping like a child in a candy shop. Thank you so much. Like, I'm just excited.
2 days, give me 48 hours notice, and I'll be prepared for you. So I can also, because I do a lot of interviews, a lot of talking to several radios, several television stations across the world. So give me time. To your purpose. All you need to do is strong desire and sit attended.
I will. I definitely will do so. Thank you so immensely, sir. It's been quite informative, insightful, and helpful, having you here. And always, say you did very loaded. God go bless you. Your water no go run dry, sir. God go bless you plenty. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm happy to be with you.
Thank you, sir. Do enjoy the rest of your evening, sir. Bye. Bye. All right. Nigerians, that's about it. Okay, so every other thing I had in the news that I wanted to talk about. Good thing I've told you the headlines already. So there's nothing much to talk about. With those headlines, make you use that one, drink water, because we don't try, because we know if you talk past like this. 3 hours marathon. Dr. Catch is amazing. I didn't think he would do this. Thank you so much to all of you. Thank you to everyone who's been here. I appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you. Let's continue to speak for the growth and development of our nation. We'll not go free stop to talk. Till tomorrow evening with hopefully Mr. Peter and Prince Francis Chilaka. I will try to bring Barrister Adams tomorrow. Bring him. So with all of them tomorrow, it promises to be an explosive session tomorrow evening. Don't miss it. I'll see you guys tomorrow, God willing. Protect your mental health, because wahala need a feeling show. Protect your mental health. I love Onaskata. You already know that. Good night and God bless you. Did I tell you what how Nigerians are now reacting over this video by Donald Trump? All of you.
Why want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region, because we are committed to that. Okay. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes,
in Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well, and they come from.
All right. Good night, Nigerians. Good night, and God bless you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.